All right, should we start? Do you guys need to do like some jumping jacks or like some fasolati dos?
Humana.
I just did my throat singing, so I'm good.
6-7, 6-7.
God.
Oh God.
Don't,
Okay,
don't,
I'm ready.
don't.
All right. Okay. That's
Okay, end it now.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the annual NeverLag Game of the Year awards discussion
banquet.
and banquet.
Not all of you will be invited to the banquet.
The after banquet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't talk about the banquet on this. That's an invite only.
That's
need
for
to know
our,
situation.
that's for Patreon subscribers.
Patreon. Oh, we should probably set that up, huh?
Maybe when we get more than 2 viewers. Yeah.
You know, I bet you they can't sign up if it doesn't exist. Never thought about it that way.
That is true. Yeah.
Welcome in to this illustrious special occasion. We're looking back on 2025. As Calvin brought out earlier, this is 2026 about 2025 in gaming. And yeah, we're gonna have a good old time. Look back at a lot of the game. I mean, we've done this now for 12 months, and some of those months were combined. But we've talked about probably 100 games this year. Wouldn't you say we probably average 8 games?
Yeah,
maybe
probably.
not.
With
pretty close.
With your offerings, we're probably pretty close.
You've probably brought 60 to 70 to the table. Me and Calvin-
Zach's played 2 or 3 of them this year. So this year, gentlemen, I'm sure you're wondering why I've brought you here. This year, we are. Last year was. We don't talk about last year, but we're going to talk about last year for a second. It was a bit of a cluster, and we've struggled to do this because we all play different games, and we were trying to figure out a format that makes sense to do this rather than talking about literally 30 games extensively from start to finish. So this year we're going to try the old. We'll give kind of funny credit, and I don't know where they got it from, but we did a combined list this year. So next year it will be a surprise to me. Is my plan. I'm going to have Emily probably put the list together, so I don't know it, and I can unveil it as we go and be surprised.
Either have her do it, or we can have my 5-year-old do it. But either way,
there you go. Either way, the math will be sound. There will be no mistakes.
Honestly, Maddie would probably do better.
We'll just have AI do it.
Yeah, well, that'll make the math less sound, probably.
But alas, this year I did it because I had already as I tabulated and figured, I was like, I probably could have had anyone else do this and not had to do it. But here we are. I did it. I know the answers, but I'm going to surprise you guys. I'm going to surprise you. That's my goal today.
And I think all of us are going to surprise ourselves a little bit.
We usually do when we get on here and start spewing things. So anyways, this is a combined list. Zach and Calvin both sent me their list ranked 1 through 10. If something was ranked number 1, it gets 10 points towards its vote. If something was ranked number 1, it gets 1 point. Or I'm sorry, number 10, it gets 1 point. So flip it. If something was ranked 5, it gets 6. 5.
Or is that
I believe
6?
It's 6. It's actually weird. It's actually weird.
That was a trick question. You got me.
If you don't believe how I did this, just trust me. Okay. Yeah. We did run into. I'm gonna air my dirty laundry here. Not my dirty laundry. I'm gonna let you know what happened here. The how the sausage was made. I had to make some colorful decisions here with certain things because with us not having 11 people or whatever, like Kind of Funny have, the more people, the easier it is to weed out some of the games that someone played that isn't from this year or only they voted for. A little bit harder with 3 people. If someone really votes for something, it can make the list and make it. We had a lot of ties to start with. So basically what I ended up doing is our top 5 is very sound. I feel like there's no question about our top 5. Mathematically, It worked out. It's NeverLag's top 5, very sound. 6 through 10, I had to make a couple decisions regarding whether or not I kind of use tiebreakers. If 2 of us voted or if multiple people voted for a game, it gets weighted heavier than if one person did. And then there were other situations where if multiple people voted for a game on average higher, then like what I'm saying is if 2 people voted for a game at 7, that weighed higher than if someone voted at 5 and 10. Because 2 people had it on average higher
average.
basically.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Basically.
Kind of going with the collective.
And then the last tiebreaker I used was if the game came out this year. It gets weighted as well.
Well, dang. For someone else.
So, well, Zach did his best to screw up our list, so it's going to show that. It's going to reflect that. Don't you worry, all you Zach fans out there. Zach, he did a number on this list. Let me get my little stand here for the official phone of 2025 list that I have here. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else to bring up. The only other thing I'll kind of mention is that basically I was able to organize these 1 through 9, and then basically in our 10 spot, and we can talk about this as we go. You guys feel free to throw in some opinions, and we can kind of flesh this out as we go into next year as well. But what ultimately ended up happening is I made our 10 spot any game that only one of us voted for, the highest game of that category. Does that make sense? So that was a weird way to explain that, but basically,
I think I see what you're saying.
Basically, whatever game each of us individually voted for that no one else did, that was highest on our list.
Whoever went all in on it and put it higher
gets the 10 spot.
Okay.
That was left because there are some other. I'm not trying to give too much away, but basically, our 10 spot is a 3-way tie of our highest ranked game
that
left
no one else played,
that no one else voted for.
Okay.
So I feel like it all makes sense. It's kind of cumbersome. But when it's all said and done, I really do think that this list is going to be a lot smoother. And I honestly respect this list. I look up to this list, and I sign off on this being NeverLag's 2025.
You're not ashamed of this list?
I'm not. I don't look at this list and go, dear God, what horror amalgamation of nonsense have we created?
Hopefully this is the list that finally allows us to respect ourselves. That's what we're after here.
Well, I tried to make it.
My self-respect depends on this, so let's hope so.
Me too. It's 100% dependent on this.
No pressure. Here we go.
Yeah. So let's get into it.
Well, actually, before we kick things off, we did not, if we were an organized, talented, respected podcast, we would have discussed this off air. But we
after
didn't.
the self-respect discussion, that's the immediate segue.
Immediate. Well, we haven't gone over the list yet. We don't respect ourselves yet.
That's a good point. Right.
Although I've seen it, so that doesn't hold up. But how do we want to do honorable mentions? 1 honorable mention, 3 honorable mentions. Be quick.
So I
just pick a rule and let's go with it.
Now that I know how things were tabulated and some of our picks may not make the list, even though it's on our personal list, I would kind of love for the honorable mentions to be what didn't make the list. So
after
you
want to do honorable mentions after?
That way we can maybe call out a couple of things and we'll limit it to a sentence or two.
Well, here. I mean, there are honorable mentions that are not on the top 10 that I kind of wanted to shout out for a quick sec. So maybe if there's 1 or 2 off your top 10 you want to shout out real quick, we'll do that now. The list, and then any that were remaining that didn't make NeverLag's top 10 list, we can kind of at the end. So I'll kick things off just to kind of get this formula, this blueprint started here. Things that were not in my top 10 that I want to call out really quick would be, to start, Transistor. I played Transistor at the very beginning of the year in January on the Steam Deck. It is a game by Supergiant, and Supergiant make freaking good games, man. They just do. I'm honestly at the point where there's maybe 1 or 2 other games of theirs I haven't played, and I just need to play them because they don't miss, is what I'm gathering. The first game I ever played by them was the name that's now escaping me. What's the game I always tell you to play, Calvin? Oh my gosh. Bastion. Bastion is so good. Such a small, perfect little game, and you can see the DNA of Hades in it and where they came from and their music and their narrator. Great game. Transistor was one that sat around forever, and I was just like, I don't know if I'll ever get to it because it's a little weird. They went a weird direction, and it's kind of like a real-time strategy game where it's like the closest comparison I would give is maybe like a Final Fantasy VII remake, where there's real-time elements to combat, but there's also kind of like a turn-based strategy portion to combat. And I won't belabor this whole thing, but just Transistor was really good. The world Again, really cool. Kind of gives this like it's like a Tron-esque world. It's a digital world, basically, murder mystery type vibes. It's kind of like noir Tron is kind
Yeah,
of the closest pitch I could give.
I remember that.
There's kind of like a narrator element like Bastion, which again is weird. Most games don't do that, but it's just like their fingerprint. It's so good. The voice acting, the combat, I actually ultimately really ended up enjoying. It's a top down isometric type of looking game, and you go into these combat sections, and there's two modes to combat. There's like a prep phase where you can do a bunch of stuff, and then you can let it play out. And then there's an active combat element as well. It's really hard to explain. You just have to play it. But by the end of it, you get all these different chips and things, and like think like charms you can use in other games to really create a build and use certain abilities. And the combat system is really well thought out and really unique in this game. And it just, I wanted it in the top 10. It just couldn't make the top 10. But like, just play all of Supergiant's games. And Transistor is weird, but don't write it off and go check this out because it's one that stays with you. It's unique, and they are so good at making games.
I
Nice.
remember
It looks cool
when you talked about it originally, and Tron Noir. You used that description before, and that stuck with me.
Yeah, I mean it's weird, but
it's good. It's a good description.
Yeah.
Two very interesting, cool things.
There's my probably top honorable mention. I might have one or two more to throw in, but what do you guys have? What's your honorable mention?
I can do. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Zach.
All right, I'll go again.
How kind of you. No, I'll go real quick. Just to keep moving.
All right, guys, let me do my second one.
Okay. No, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and go now.
Calvin, you go. I'm just kidding. Zach, go ahead.
After you. No, okay. One of my honorable mentions is Sword of the Sea, which is I'm forgetting the name of the.
I'll co-sign off on that one. That's one of mine as well.
Okay, cool. Sword of the Sea is great. So it's this beautiful, artistic, kind of Journey style game, except the mechanics are a little bit more in depth than something like Journey. And you surf around on your sword, and like you're in this desert, and you unlock puzzles that bring like water and life and vitality back to the desert. Beautiful color palettes, beautiful environments, surfing around on a levitating sword. So it's kind of like a skater game, but a fantasy game, and you're collecting stuff, and the music and the scenery is beautiful. It doesn't overstay its welcome.
From what I've seen,
visually, one of the most beautiful things. And I think it was like 6 to 8 hours, maybe. Like it does not overstay its welcome. I absolutely adored the experience, and it's such a good palate cleanser. I kind of wish it was on my top 10. It's just so short. It's a little hard to justify it, but like, man, it's good.
Yeah. Well, and it's just, man, once you start 10, there's just not that many numbers in 10 numbers,
There's
and by the time you get to 10, you're out of numbers.
11. Yeah.
You're out of numbers once you get to 10, and then you're like, how do I fit Sword in the Sea on there? And I wish I could.
That's the tragedy. Because
you look at it and you say Sword in the Sea is a top 10 game, and then you start doing the numbers and you're like, But I agree, man. Just a perfect experience. I did not like Journey, not enough gameplay. This to me brought whatever spiritual experience people had with Journey. I was able to have that now with Sword in the Sea because there's actual very, very light Tony Hawk skateboarding elements,
right?
But just a flow state. Like
that's the only way you and I can have a spiritual experience is if there's a Tony Hawk
correct
skating on a broadsword element.
That's not wrong. Yeah, yeah. It's a Tony Hawk broadsword type game,
right? A Tony Hawk broadsword like, as they say.
Broadsword like, man, that would win me over. No, this game visually is just and I'm a sucker for just kind of like a weird aquatic themes. And I love the way that water being life, momentum and water is woven into this visual experience of bringing life back to the terrain, whether it's a desert or an ice scape or whatever, bringing the water in and having the water fish flying through the air and whales flying through the air. And it's just this like fever dream in the best way.
Yeah.
Very serene. And again, doesn't overstay its welcome. It's a perfect game. 10 out of 10 for what it's doing. So I second that. Calvin, what about you?
Nice. I'll be real quick setting this up. So I have two that were in contention for an honorable mention. One of those being Arc Raiders, which I'll breeze through. We've already talked about it. I see why it's such a good game and why it's so loved. Just didn't quite click with me. And then Lords of the Fallen.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really good. It does a lot right. It in some ways feels like it delivers a Dark Souls 4 experience. But my real, I think, honorable mention, just for the sake of exposure, because everyone knows about Arc Raiders and Lords of the Fallen, is Thunderfolk. I feel like I wish we played a little more Thunderfolk this year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it has some flaws for sure. The narration, the voice acting being probably one of the biggest ones. But it really scratches the Gloomhaven tabletop gaming itch that
it's one of
we
haven't
been able to do in person for so long, and being able to play this, remotely and just get that same experience. It's pretty special, and it's for like across the board. It's really well done, and I just look forward to playing more throughout this year.
Yeah, I have it as an honorable mention for that reason too. Like some of my favorite gaming moments this year was us playing Thunderfolk, both in person and remotely.
Yeah,
100%.
And I want to play more of it, and I think we all plan to. But
if we had played more of it, if we had beaten it in 2025, I think it would have ranked it would have ranked pretty respectably on our game of the year list. I think
it probably could have made the list for sure if we had played enough of it.
In fact, I had put a talking point here, which maybe we'll get to some of these, maybe we won't. But biggest regret gaming wise of 2025, mine were not finishing Laser Hell in Split Fiction.
Yep.
And not playing more Thunderfolk, because I think Thunderfolk was a top 10 game, and it just couldn't make the list because we only played a handful of times. So
yeah.
But maybe we can finish it in 2026, and we'll see if it can make the cut.
That's hilarious, because when I was thinking of biggest 2025 gaming regrets, those were the first two things that came to my mind, namely Laser Hell.
Yeah.
Because
if Calvin's thumbs could work a little bit better.
The regret weighs mostly on me, because it's my burden to bear.
Yeah.
You got to take this with you to your grave, Calvin, that we didn't finish Laser Hell.
We will finish. 2026 is our year for that.
Okay, all right, we'll see. Let me throw out two quick honorable mentions to end here. Ruffy
I have one more after that too.
That's fine. No, I just meant for me. I'm going to shut up after that. Ruffy, well, I probably won't. You know me. Ruffy and the Riverside. I still have yet to finish this game, but really cool. Just really cool. It has a Paper Mario aesthetic to the world. It's a adventure platformer type game, and indie studio, but it's doing a really cool thing where you can pull textures from various elements in the game and put them on other textures. And think like one of the core ones is you can pull a texture off of a vine, like a vine texture, and put it on a waterfall, and all of a sudden you can climb the waterfall. And so it just is a really unique new concept that creates really cool puzzle elements where you can do some really cool stuff in the world to create some really cool puzzles. And even something as simple as like a door that is locked and it has a red circle above it. If I go somewhere and I find a green circle, and there's a time situation here, you can't indefinitely hold a texture. It's for like 20 seconds or whatever. But if I can grab that green circle and run back and place it where the red circle is, the door is now open. So it's just kind of like this really interesting, cool world. It has some of the Mario Odyssey elements where you can go from 3D to 2D on a wall, and you can even incorporate the same puzzle elements I just described from 3D to 2D. So sometimes you'll have to take something from the 3D world, go into the wall 2D, and apply it in there and solve a puzzle. That's really cool concept. I hope to finish it. It's been a lot of fun. Very like old school Nintendo kind of vibes going on there. And then the last one I'll mention honorably is gosh, there's so many. My 10 to 20, I just want to mention all of them, but I'll say Bokura. Bokura is a game that me and Calvin played. It's a co-op game. The sequel came out. The sequel came out this year. We didn't get to it. We hope to. But the cool thing about this game is that it needs to be played by two people on two different screens, not split screen. You can't see each other's screens, and it's dependent on that because I don't want to spoil it, but your experience is individual. Like you are experiencing something and your partner is experiencing something, and you have to cooperate together and very much communicate about what you're seeing and what they're seeing. And it's just, it was a really cool kind of like almost eye-opening experience from co-op of like, man, more games need to do this where two people, almost you think of like escape rooms or something where one person's in the chair and one person's in the field or something, like where you have to communicate and not everyone's seeing the same thing. So
it felt very innovative, and like I'm a little surprised this is the first time I've seen co-op doing this, but it works so well and it's such a cool idea. I want to see more of it.
I remember you guys talking about this. It looks very neat.
Totes. It was really dark in this room. Normally I'm good, but I was like, oh,
yeah.
No, it's a regular human room. Look at behind me.
I don't know. It looks like it could be AI.
Yeah, I am actually in the abyss. This is one of those Zoom screens. Zach, what else? What's your last one?
I'm kind of doubling up here because it's from the same studio, but I played Neva and Gree, which is from Namada Studio, I think is what it is.
Totally worth shouting out for sure.
Those games are another beautiful artistic experience of a game, kind of like Sword of the Sea. It feels like you're playing like a dynamic painting for several hours, and it's beautiful. I think Gree's gameplay I enjoyed more, but I loved Neva's themes and some of the emotions that that game made me feel. So I won't go in too much into either of them. We talked about them in previous videos. You can look them up, but they're beautiful. Both of them elicited emotional responses for me too, which is always a nice thing where I was like, I felt something by the end of it. And I just, they're great. And they're not super long.
Long way.
It does. And the music's beautiful. And they're just, and I played those in like February, like pretty early on in the year, and they are vividly emblazoned in my memory.
That's a good sign.
So I think those are ones that are going to stick with me. And
so if you got to pick, gun to your head, which one do you pick?
I think I would probably pick, man, I honestly don't know. They're like so neck and neck. I think Neva, because it was the first one I played, like stuck with me. Like I have so many, there's just various scenes that really resonated, but Gree has some really powerful themes, and like some of the gameplay in Gree was cooler. So it's like, I like different things about them. I would say emotionally, maybe Neva's 1% ahead, but they're both spectacular.
That's interesting, because for me it's easy, and it's Gree. I emotionally resonated. I connected more with Gree than Neva, even though Neva's about dogs, and I connected as well. I just felt like Gree was better, but
they're both really good.
They're both really good.
They're both. You should just 100%. Play them both. Is my thing. So anyway, shout out to those.
Totally. Okay. Are we moving on?
That's the end of my honorables.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
I'm gonna move on to my dishonorable mentions. Let's see here. Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Do you actually have those?
No. I did have what was your biggest gaming like waste of time in 2025, but we all know what that is. God, that's 70 hours I'll never get back. Okay. Well, let's go in. In post, Zach is going to have just an epic number countdown on the screen as we go through these. And I'll do my best.
It's either going to be the most epic thing, or it'll just be a little number one in text.
Little number.
Right on Levi's forehead. It'll just say number one.
On my little square on my forehead. Completely invisible to everybody. All right, let's get into it. So as mentioned, we have a 3-way tie, but let's kick things off with NeverLag's Game of the Year Top 10.
Oh, I'm so nervous.
Number 10. 3-way tie between Baby Steps, Tinykin, and Dead Space.
Oh, okay.
Where do we start?
I want to hear you talk about Tinykin.
Okay. I'll go.
Tell us why Tinykin is disrespected being at 10. Tell us why, Zach.
Yeah. Tinykin is a perfect 3D platformer collectathon. I think that's it. I think that's all you need to say. It's a delightful game. If you like that style of game,
also PS2 too.
Kind of that's true. Very strong Pikmin element. If you like that PS2 GameCube era collectathon 3D platformer, Pikmin, all of these things coming together, you're like running around a house. You're this tiny little guy in a giant house. So you're like from you're like an alien from space or something, and you're
Yeah,
exploring.
it's actually a pretty weird story.
You're
I don't
exploring
remember.
like a human house, but you're tiny compared to human size, and so it's kind of a Honey I Shrunk the Kids thing where everything's huge, which makes a normal house become like a whole playground of trying to climb this giant bookshelf or navigate across the kitchen, and the appliances are all humongous, and then on top of that you have a really cool traversal abilities. You have this little bar of soap that you slip around on, or they're a
Skateboard
little
around.
there are little like lines that will become connected where you can kind of grind these little strings throughout the house, and it just makes traversal feel really fun and fluid. You have these little tinykin creatures that help you accomplish various tasks, and that's where it feels like Pikmin. And then you're collecting a bunch of stuff, and you're just navigating this whole house, and it's the type of thing that I loved as a kid, and they managed to do it again in a modern day. So
Yeah,
it's so fun. It's not overly long. I kind of wish it was longer. Like
I
that's
wish it was longer too.
I wish
I
it was
wish there
Leaves
was
you
longer.
like
wanting
2
more.
more rooms.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same. So anyway, it was great.
that's
Check
probably
out.
another game we'll never get a sequel to or
I
DLC
know.
to, and it's just like why can't the world recognize these games are amazing and sell
Oh, it
millions of
was so good.
copies?
Yeah, I completed it, and then I've had a hole in my life ever
Yeah.
since. So
Yeah.
I mean, I legitimately, if you think about the best platforming collectathon games ever, I guess collectathon might muddle that genre a little bit, but like, I mean, you think of Mario Odyssey, but like legitimately, Tinykin might be the best one ever made. It might just be like the
Yeah.
perfect. And also, I didn't know I needed a Pikmin like game. I've never played Pikmin before, and when I
Yeah.
played this game, I was just like, maybe I do need to go Pikmin. Although knowing Nintendo, it's probably more annoying. But like,
Mhm.
they make it so easy. I love the way the stack Pikmin where you can get taller.
Yeah.
You literally just like hold a button and then you're like
Yeah.
way up high, and then the throwing the electric ones to like create a current.
Yeah.
The ones that make bridges, that just, it's such a, all of the mechanics are so satisfying visually, audibly, mechanics wise.
The
The
art style
movement
of the
is
game.
perfect. The art style is perfect. I still remember the locations, like the rave in the
Mhm.
bathroom.
Yeah.
The
So
bathroom,
dope,
yeah.
dude. The bathroom rave, and then you've got like the greenhouse with the plants all up in the, you're getting all the way up in the
Yeah.
plants, up in the ceiling,
Up in the rafters.
um,
Yeah.
in the rafters, and the bedroom. Like, just the locations are so good, and I really wish they had done some DLC with the backyard, or just like I want
Yeah.
more rooms.
Yeah.
I want more rooms,
Um
man.
it my sample size is kind of small of this type of thing, but the Honey I Shrunk the Kids, the being tiny in ordinary areas and having them be massive and like these crazy things is really cool when it's well done, because Grounded
Yeah,
is
yeah, it's a good concept.
one of my favorite
Yeah.
games, and it's just that concept when it's done well is magical, and
Yeah.
Tinykin just
Or even the
nails it.
Toy Story games I played as a kid. Just,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
being small
Yeah.
in a normal area is just it's a
It's
magical
underrated. It's underrated.
magical concept. So man, here's to hoping we get a new Tinykin somehow, some way.
Someday. Yep.
Yeah.
Dead Space, Calvin.
All
Tell
right.
us about Dead Space.
Yeah. Dead Space is interesting for me because I think I played Dead Space not too long after I tried to play Pacific Drive, and I was trying to figure out why Pacific Drive and Subnautica were like not working for me. And I thought part of it might be the tension and some of the horror elements. But then I went and played Dead Space, and I loved it. So still
So
trying
it
to
must
figure
have
that
been
out
must have
exactly.
been the automotive elements.
The vehicles.
Yeah.
He hates
Yeah.
vehicular games.
That's not. I know that's not true either.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I don't play scary games, and so it was a little bit of a new thing for me, and it's fantastic. The immersion in Dead Space is almost unrivaled. I mean, I think you didn't even actually realize this when you played it, Levi, but it actually does the thing that God of War 2018 and Ragnarok did, where except for like
There's no
except for when
loading
you
screens?
die, yeah, except for when you die or quit out, there is no loading screen. There's no
Huh.
the entire game, if you don't die, takes place in one continual cut. And
That's crazy.
And the
I mean,
level
it
design,
is immersive. It is an immersive game.
There's backtracking that's well done. There's level design. You constantly have to go everywhere on foot, but the level design and the way it's connected and progresses makes that work really well without feeling tiring or repetitive. And it works wonders for the immersion because
Yeah.
you're you're just backtracking. You're going through somewhere you've been before, but there's tension. You're just constantly in this world without any video game, loading screen taking you out of it. It's a small thing that does a lot.
And what's crazy is we just got through talking about November and December and all the Metroid things. And we talked about Metroid as Dead Space and Zelda, and that's so great on paper. But literally looking at just Dead Space on its own, it does so well what I feel Metroid Prime Remastered failed to do, which again, there's a 20-year gap there. I'm not trying to compare them, but a modern Metroid I would hope would be more like Dead Space. Dead Space has
when did the original Dead Space come out?
2000.
That's a good point. This is a remake.
I think it was,
but it's still more recent. But it was a long time ago.
It was a while ago.
So
it's not that big.
this is so. I guess actually this is a pretty good comparison. Dead Space has you retraversing this spaceship. What's it called? Something
Nakamura,
Mitsubura, something Mitsubishi.
Yoshihara.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna drive me crazy now.
Miyazaki, I forget what it is.
I'm just going through names I know at this point. Ishimura.
Ishimura. And it is such a well-realized location. You believe this is a real, like the way you traverse this and the way that everything's connected, and you do backtracking, but none of it's annoying. And this is a game that does not have fast travel, right?
No.
So it can be done. It is just a Metroid flaw.
There is not fast
travel.
No,
there's like a tram.
Yeah.
Similar to an elevator. There's no fast travel teleportation, and you do not feel it in this game. There's no point in this game where you're like,
it never
I have to get to the other side of the spaceship, and I don't know how to do it. It's going to take me 20 minutes.
Because the story naturally takes you where you need to go, and it
perfectly guides you, and you're never like that lost, but you're fully immersed, terrified.
You're also so focused on like the vents, the things popping out. You don't have time to worry about it.
You're so focused on like staying alive.
I'll never forget
and preparing for the next jump scare that you're not focused on the fact that you're backtracking.
I think it is. Man. The story guides you really well too, but I think it's a little bit of both of those things.
A little bit of both. Wait, have you beaten the remake?
Not the remake. I got about halfway through the remake. I beat the original back in the day though.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And also just speaking to the remake at least. Visually and the way it runs, fantastic. It's a very visually it's a pretty phenomenal game.
It is. It's up there. Even on console. Very impressed with it on PS5. Looks phenomenal. Runs phenomenal.
Another thing visually, the HUD design and the UI, fantastic.
All adds to the immersion.
How, it's all immersive. And I love how it like your health and your heals and your ability uses are all part of your suit design,
part of your armor.
And it's not there's no HUD, there's no external HUD.
So you reference the back of your armor to see how much health you have, and then it's not taking up any part of the screen. Why don't more games do that?
That's something the original game did, and I remember it struck me then too. It's just so
ahead of its time.
That's
and we still aren't seeing it. We still aren't seeing it in most games, and it's just like goes such a long way to.
I think a lot of games just don't take the time because it's probably a little harder to make that ever present.
They don't think it matters as much. I don't know.
And it's like doesn't matter, but then you see it and you're like, wow, that actually really added to it. Yeah.
Real quick, just two things I want to call out while we're on the subject of this game. It sticks the landing in the end. A lot of these games maybe kind of miss the ending, and it's like, it falls a little flat. Great ending, great locations. The locations on the ship, you visit some places that are just like really jaw-dropping sci-fi,
peak sci-fi
skyboxes. Yeah, absolutely incredible, and one of the best weapons in video games ever to have been made.
Yeah,
so
that's
good.
what I was going to touch on.
I forget what's it called.
The plasma cutter.
Plasma cutter.
Yeah.
The way you rotate it horizontal and vertical to take off limbs or like to slice electrical conduits.
Yeah, and I was going to
good.
comment on the combat, and you get actually a lot of weapons throughout the game, but honestly, and some of them are really fun, but honestly, I kind of just use the plasma cutter for most of the game. But the combat is designed so well where you have these, these scary like jump scares and intense moments, but the combat is not just bullet sponge, like take out their health.
No, it's more
you have
tactical.
to be very intentional and strategical about aiming for their limbs and immobilizing them and then taking them out,
stomping them.
And it all fits like this unique weapon.
It's a very focused experience.
And making sure it's like, oh, I want to cut them off at the legs, and then while they're crawling at me, I'm gonna either stomp on their head or you've
got 8 ammo, and you're like, I can either put 8 ammo into this guy to kill him, or I can slice off both of his legs and stomp on him and still have 6 ammo.
Yeah, exactly.
I also think it's impressive because a lot of games where ammo economy is a thing, it kind of just irritates me, and I almost just wish that there wasn't like ammo as a resource that you run out of so frequently. But in this game, I think it works so well with all of the other elements that I was never irritated by ammo economy, and it was always a good tension, I think.
Yeah. Okay, let me chime in here about baby steps. Obviously higher on my list than 10, but
do we want to shout out where it was on our personal list?
Oh yeah, we probably should. Where was Tiny Kim for you, Zach?
It was number 4 for me.
Pretty high.
That makes a lot of sense because Dead Space was number 4 for me.
Nice. Let me see here. Mine was Baby Steps was 8 for me.
Okay.
Which was honestly lower than I originally thought. I actually had to sit with my list for a couple days and some things moved. But if you had told me going into the year that the most endearing, heart-touching experience of the year might be from Baby Steps, I don't know if I would have believed you there.
From a near Fadian game.
From a Fadian like. This game just has so much more than it should have, I guess. This was supposed to be almost, kind of gave like Rick and Morty, like just almost obnoxious humor mixed with aggressively annoying streamer rage bait Fadian like game mechanic where you're falling all the time and restarting and you're really pissed off at the game. And I can have fun with those from time to time. We've played Jump King. We played Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. We've played some Only Up or whatever, these games. But ultimately, I end up putting them down because they're more addictive than they are fun. And you're just not having as much fun at a certain point. And this is not... They're made for making you mad. And this is not that. This is a game. This is a video game. And the mechanics are sound. Like, you legitimately get better at this game after you've played it for 5-7 hours. To the point where when you start, you're just falling over. And 7 hours later, I'm just like marching up the mountain.
Even in the 1 to 2 hours I played, by the time I got an hour in, like I was capable. Yeah.
And there comes to be a skill ceiling even where there comes a point in the game where you realize that you have actually kind of insane control over your feet. He can't move his arms, but like literally there are things you climb in this game. There's sections that are like, picture a rock wall, a climbing wall with all the like plastic mold handholds. And there's a climbing wall that's like 150 feet tall. And you can climb that with your feet because you can literally like precisely move your foot and set it down and turn it at an angle or use your toe or your heel. There's a skill ceiling to this. And that's very satisfying. You see yourself get better to the point where doing the trophies and getting the platinum. I'm sprinting through this game, and then beyond that, just the pull of the narrative and the characters, I never could have seen coming in this game. But I legitimately was looking forward to every next cutscene interaction with these characters in this game. Yes, whether it was the naked donkey or your tour guide whose name I should know, but I'm spacing in this moment. You're like, is it Jim? Your nonsensical feud with him is so funny where he's just kind of like, he's a little patronizing, but he's also just trying to help you the whole time. And your guy just has this complex about like, I don't want to bother anyone. I don't want your help. And it eventually turns into like this almost like, I hate you, you hate me type of thing. And it all culminates and you get to this spiral staircase that's like hundreds of feet high. And Jim tells you, you're not ready for the backbreaker. You're not ready for the backbreaker, man. You got to take this staircase. And he's like, I'm going to take the backbreaker. I'm ready for it. And he's like, well, if that's how you feel, then you can't take the staircase. And he's like, you can't tell me not to take the staircase. And he's like, if you step foot on these stairs, you have to call me Lord of the Stairs or something. Yeah. Like, and it's just this, it's so funny. This game is so funny. It has the man breaker. And it manages to be this funny without ever, I don't think it ever steps over into the, like, I love Rick and Morty, but it can get a little obnoxious and loud sometimes. This game, I don't feel it ever crosses that line. It's actually like really well made writing. And I recorded pretty much every cutscene in this game. There's a challenge you can do in a desert area where you get this ice cream cone from a guy at like a ice cream stand. And your job is to take the ice cream cone up the mountain and deliver it somewhere without it melting. And it melts a certain amount every second. And if you drop it, it melts more because it falls in the sand. And every time you fall, you drop it. And so every time it melts and disappears, you go back to the ice cream stand. And there's new dialogue from the ice cream stand guy being like, and he's like, can I have another one? And it like escalates every time. And he's just like, I'm so sorry. I hate doing this, but I need another one. And it even gets to the point where like 8 or 9 in or 10 in, it's like this fourth wall thing where he's like, you don't understand. It's a trophy. I need another one. And he's like, I'm all out, man. That was the last one. You took the backup and the backup to the backup. And it's just so freaking funny, man. I was laughing out loud.
I love when games do that type of thing, but it works really well with the type of humor and the situation.
It was so good, man. I had a blast. I could not have ever in my wildest dreams imagined this game was going to be a real game and be as good as it was. So
I could never have predicted that you would like it that much. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Kind of amazing it made your top 10, but also valid.
For reasons. For good reasons, I might say. All right, guys, are we ready?
Ready. Yeah. Let's keep going.
Number 9. Bonanza. Donkey Kong Bonanza.
There it is.
Coming in at number 9. What do you think it was going to be higher? What do you think?
Well, let's say what we all put it at. I had it at number 10.
Calvin's a big 0. Where's my camera?
I had it, didn't play it.
You didn't play
Bonanza? And herein lies the problem with the three of us is there's like, if all three of us played a game, it's basically a top 3 game. Because we didn't all play
just by the
same
nature
games.
of us playing it. Yeah. Okay,
so there's a bit of a flaw. We should maybe try and coordinate a little better. But yeah, you and I are the only two that played DK Bonanza. So
what did you put it at, Levi?
I put DK Bonanza.
And you said 10, Zach?
10. It was my
DK Bonanza was 5 for me. It was low for you.
I'm surprised it was. Yeah, I'm surprised.
I'm actually a little surprised that it was that high for you, Levi.
Yeah. It was 10 for Zach. So it only got a measly 1 additional point from Mr. Zach over there. But yeah, I was looking over my list and I believe I even had DK Bonanza. Maybe at 6 was my lowest. But I was just looking through it and I'm like, as much as it was an overly sweet experience, overly dopamine, freely giving dopamine, overstimulating, as much as it wore out its welcome in that way, and I didn't like the later levels as much as the beginning, that core concept of getting to play a brand new 3D Donkey Kong game that looked and ran well, and where I could just destroy everything and collect all the bananas. I just had a blast with it, and I didn't want to shortchange it on this list here because I feel like as much as I had some complaints, and it wasn't maybe in a Mario Odyssey tier, it's a notch below for me. It still is like a primo Nintendo experience that gave me something I've never also, that uniqueness and newness ranks really well for me. So getting to just smash and destroy a world and carve out tunnels, and that really hasn't been done in a game as effectively as this. And that was, I mean, I had an absolute blast, even though it eventually felt like it needed more depth. That core mechanic was still good enough to carry it.
This hovered back and forth between like spots 8 and 10 for me. But it had to be on the list for the same reason. Like, and it's very memorable too. Like there are some areas in this game and some mechanics that are like, this is a cool game and a cool experience. I think I was just let down a lot by the way it progressed and the fact that it kind of narrowed in instead of continuing to open up. But that being said, it was great. It was so fun to explore and smash so many things, and some of the levels were just so cool.
Yeah.
Some of the weird mechanics with like the rainbow sharks or whatever, you'd like
those were so memorable. That was one of the 3 or 4 things I remembered too, was the sharks, or were they sharks? Yeah, like flying off and creating a giant rainbow bridge that was just like insane and fever dream-esque. And
it was, I mean, there's things to criticize with it, but it's also like a pretty cool and impressive game.
It's a really fun game. I wish I'd have lent it to you so you could have figured it out on your list and we could have gone from there. But
it might have been
9, it still makes the list. I really liked the dynamic between DK and oh no, Daisy. Definitely not Daisy. Pauline.
Yeah,
the one who didn't play the game knows. Yeah. Dude, my brain doesn't work so good.
To be fair, she was also a rock for part of it. So.
Yeah. To be fair, she was Boulder, or what was it had a name too. I don't remember. The Boulder. No, I really liked.
Old enough that we can't remember names anymore.
The Rock and the little girl. I don't. No, but like legitimately, whenever you find a new little bed or resting area, and there's that little bit of dialogue between Pauline and DK as they fall asleep, that was really endearing, and I genuinely like looked forward to that every time. Like I liked her character. Her character endeared itself toward me. There was some classic Nintendo weirdness every time you get a new ability and you're like screaming and dancing with DK and Pauline, and it was kind of weird. But and then honestly, legitimately the first level in this game, not the first level, but like the first actual level you get to, with like the cruise ship and the blues and the yellows and the music, was so core DK memory to me. Like it was perfection, and none of the levels were as good as that level, and that's a bummer. But that level was still so good that just like that in itself really was just like that high of experiencing that level in DK in 3D, smashing through it, was just peak gaming for me, honestly, in that like hour or two that you're there. So
agreed.
Fine, I might play it.
Fine. And honestly, it doesn't get bad. It's like a slight decline all the way to the end. Is kind of how it felt for me.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I pretty much completed everything, which should say something. So
yeah. So there you have it. DK Bonanza at number 9. Okay. Number 8. I'm on the wrong list. Ghost of Yote.
Oh. So where was it for everyone on their list?
I had it at number 8, which I haven't finished it, so I'm kind of like I chose 8 because I think that's around where it'll end up.
He's played like an hour of it, and it's his number 8
like a quarter of the way through.
I played 15
I didn't
minutes.
even think about that.
No, I'm like 7.
He's like,
I'm
the grass moves real good.
The grass continues to move good. No, I'm like 6 or 7 hours in. I've been doing a lot of like completionist stuff in the first.
He's been doing a lot of not killing the Yote 6.
I have not been killing the
He's really smelling the flowers.
You know,
where were you at, Cal?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
It's number 7 for me.
Okay.
Number 7 and number 8, and it made number 8 on the list. It did not make my top 10 this year.
Okay.
It's just outside. I enjoyed my time with it, but it was kind of more the same, but less. It was better in some ways, but lesser in ways that really mattered to me from Ghost of Tsushima, whether it was Jin, the character, even the combat. I feel like I enjoyed in Tsushima a little bit better, even though a lot of people think Yote perfected it and it was better. It just kind of was more of the same, but not as good to me. And that's kind of how it felt. And it didn't offer the newness or uniqueness that kind of pushes it over the edge for me. And it's kind of more in that 11 to 12 range for me. So
yeah,
I can see that.
I think I'm pretty much right in the same boat of, I really enjoyed my time with it. I thoroughly had fun, but the nature of it being a sequel and as good as Tsushima was for me, especially, expectations were really fighting this, and it let me down in too many ways, I think, to be higher. So
yeah, it still made 7. So
yeah,
there's
and
that. That's
I will
respectable.
say, I think it deserves that, because I think it's still a very good game. Like I'm not saying this is a bad game.
It's a very well-made game. I will say that it's very well made. I do
think if I had played more games this year, like, you know, if I had played as many games this year as you, I'm not sure it
it
would
might
be in
have
my top
fallen
10
a little
either.
bit more too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of surprising to look at my list and be like, Yote's not in the top 10. But at the same time, it was one of those games where I enjoyed playing it. I enjoyed being in the world. But as soon as I put it down, it didn't stick with me very much. And I'm kind of curious to hear. I mean, obviously, Zach being newer into it, I want to hear your thoughts on how it was able to make 8 for you. But also, do you think that had we played Ghost of Tsushima in 2025, would it rank similarly? Would it rank considerably higher? Because for me, I'm actually not sure. I love Ghost of Tsushima and I love Jin, but I am left wondering after playing Yote in 2025 and it being better in some ways and it not quite doing it for me. Would Tsushima, if you just switched the games, would Tsushima have done it? And I don't know that it would have either.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
For me, I feel fairly confident saying that it would, because one of my biggest disappointments in Yote as a whole is the story. And I think it's a good story. I think it's about as good as a revenge story can be for the most part. But
yeah, I would agree.
But Jin's story and just the story of Tsushima, I like so much more. It's one of my favorite video game stories, and I think the story alone is that much better to me. So
yeah. And it's the little things for me too, like just Jin as a character, just him running around, good Hoskage.
mm-hmm.
Like I love Jin, and anytime that Atsu would speak, it just was. I'm not gonna say nails on a chalkboard, but just like it just didn't have. It wasn't endearing to me. I kind of didn't like her, and her character does have an arc, and she does have depth to her, and she's not a bad character. I just never truly liked her, and that's kind of a problem. So
I to an extent, I'd agree. Like, she's growing on me, and I'm starting to kind of like her. And I'm like, okay, she's kind of cool now. Like, minor spoilers. I don't know if we want to talk spoilers at all. I guess
there's spoilers for everything in this podcast. Go away or skip if you get to a game that you haven't played.
She meets her brother. It's when she's grown. Like, there's the whole incident with her family, and she's a kid.
Yeah,
you run into your brother again, and I'm starting to see some depth in like how she's interacting with people from her past, and I'm more interested in her now for sure. But
the writing is still very good.
Yeah. But there was something about Jin, and I think it was just a mixture of things. Like, what I really liked about Jin's story was this idea of him feeling so torn. Like, he is trying to uphold
turmoil between what he needs to do and how he needs to do it.
Yeah.
And them not lining up.
He wants to be honorable and like bring honor to his family, but at the same time, the way for him to save the island is to become like this Shadowborn assassin and kind of be. And so you're constantly, and not only is that like interesting story wise, it factors into the gameplay where sometimes I would be like, do I want to just assassinate everybody because that'll be easier for this thing? But also I feel like Jin doesn't like that, and so I would actually make gameplay decisions sometimes based on how I think Jin would feel, which anytime a game gets you thinking like the character like that, it's really special. And I haven't felt that as much. I mean, with the revenge story, I'm like, sure, I'll kill everybody. Like, it doesn't really matter. I'll kill them however. So I think some of that is the nature of what it is, and it's just a little bit of lightning in a bottle. But I don't know. It's good.
So to speak a little bit to just to round out this conversation with some things that Yote does well, despite looking a little dated texturally in some spots when things are still, the in motion, this game continues, like Sucker Punch continued to deliver a game in motion that looks better than just about anything else that is on the market. Like, just when the wind is flowing in the grass and you're riding through on your horse and
there's storm clouds moving through the sky.
Amazing.
I think one of the things that stole my heart with Ghost of Tsushima was the dynamism of the environment and the grass and the trees and the flower petals. And this brings that, and it's just as beautiful, if not more beautiful, when those things are all at play. And there is still something, like, I took a hiatus from this game for like a month because of life stuff, but I started playing it again the other day, and I've been playing every night for a couple of nights, and it's a joy to run through a field on your horse, and like the storm blows in and the petals fly across the screen, and like there is something to that just really hits for me. And so even though it's not, some things aren't hitting as much as Tsushima, and maybe gaming has advanced a little bit and this and that, there's still enough there that I'm like, I think I feel pretty comfortable with it being at 8 for me, because I'm like, there's something special about what these games are.
They create a pretty magical world to just be in.
They do.
They also brought some quality of life things to combat that were nice. The different weapons were fun to collect and get different skins for. I really liked the um, what is it, Mitsigami, or what's the, I don't
The
remember what it's called. The like
the
chain.
two, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, being able to like pull someone in and assassinate them in the bushes was
hmm
just a nice quality of life, like cool thing with the weapon. Being able to pick up weapons on the ground and like launch them at people was
throw them, yeah,
very satisfying, very fun addition to combat. I will
being
say
able to
I've heard
climb
really
is
bad.
cool.
I've heard a lot of people bag on the story and writing of this game. And to be honest with you, as much as I don't like it as much as Tsushima, I think the writing, characters, story, I think it's actually near 10 out of 10. Like, I think the core story, the revenge elements, the characters you meet, I think it's all really incredibly. Because I kind of went into it hearing everyone bagging on the story. And then the moment I met Jubei and kind of that whole dynamic of their brother and sister reunited at last, but they also don't know each other and they're completely different
Yeah.
people. And that was
Mm-hmm.
all done so well. And I was
hmm
like,
Yeah, it's good.
I'm invested in this. I thought this was supposed to be terrible. And no, the story is actually really good. And again, compared to Tsushima, I think the faces and the characters of the enemies are more interesting in this game than Tsushima on large. Tsushima has a great ending and has some great culmination, but each boss you come to in Tsushima has a personality and you get to know them and kind of how they are and how they behave and what drives them, and then you fight them and they're memorable. I remember the Yote 6 by the end
Yeah,
of this game.
all of the main Yote 6 boss fights are, I think, very good and
Yeah.
very memorable, very unique. Yeah,
And
I
as we
agree.
talk about this, I'm like, it probably should be my top 10. But you know what? Top 10's hard. So
Top
here we
tens
are.
are hard, but hey, it
And then
represented in the NeverLag list. So
Yeah.
the other thing, Levi, I think we talked about this when we brought it up before, but and I think this is where it maybe really suffers in being a sequel, as opposed to maybe being the first of its kind. Something that didn't show its face, and I didn't feel or realize with Tsushima, that I started to feel and really thought about with Yote, was despite how immersive the world can feel with the no HUD and the wind and being in the world can feel very immersive. It almost, I started to feel that all of that was masking and kind of hiding an actually very on rails and stiff gameplay experience.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. There
So
were definitely a
just
few.
some,
I remember talking with you about that. There's a couple points where this is just a different game than Assassin's Creed, for better and worse. But there
yeah,
were certainly some times where it's like, oh, look, let me just go down there because that's where I'm trying to get to. And there's these like gravel rocks that you can slide down in other parts of the game. I'm like, let me just, instead of going the way the game wants me to go, let me slide down there. It's a lake. I should be able to drop in without dying. And no, as soon as I slide down, it goes to like a fade out and I reset. And it's just like some of those elements where it's like I can't quite do what I want in this open world because it is more linear and on rails, kind of like an old school
yeah,
game. For better and worse, not every game needs to be that, but
yeah.
I still find myself being like, why can't more games do what
One of,
Assassin's Creed Origins did 10 years
one of
ago
the
now?
things that
You know?
that
So,
killed me, and I don't know how many people really noticed this or if it affected them, but it was a killer for me, was when you're climbing like a cliff, when you're climbing rocks, there's the handholds that you climb. And you'll like when the handholds kind of form a thing, you'll climb it for a while, and then sometimes you'll jump to the next one. And you have to jump there, but if you want to jump on like a section where it's all connected and you just climb, it will not
yeah.
let you. And if
yeah,
there's
I
times
hate
where I
things like
wanted to
that
just
too.
kind of jump to speed it up,
Yeah,
and not only could you not jump, but it would actively stop Atsu for climbing from like for like a full
Yeah.
second
do
before I
like a
could
weird
start climbing again.
animation. Yeah,
There's some truly antiquated design
Yeah,
concepts when it comes to moment gameplay in this game that can look really choppy or look funky or lead to problems. So, for sure. But overall, a really good game. I kind of want. I look forward to Sucker Punch hopefully doing something else. Now, I don't think we need a trilogy. I think a
I would
duology
agree.
here is fine. I'd like to see them do something a little bit different here, which is maybe hard because they've kind of cut their teeth in and become who they are now based off of the Ghost series.
They did, but they also
So
did Infamous 1 and 2, which was like superhero based, and that was
yeah,
mildly popular, and those were pretty cool. And then they pivoted to
but they
Ghost.
definitely
So
hit a new echelon with
they
Ghost.
hit
So
a new
I don't know
they
if
hit a
they'll
new
leave it.
echelon, but they still might like they did 2 and then 2. I could see him
Part of me
moving on to a new thing,
part of me
but
wonders if Ghost of like the Ghost IP
Just the new
is on
Sony's
its way
the
to
Assassin's
new
Creed,
becoming
Assassin's
another
Creed, yeah.
Assassin's Creed
just the
like
Ghost of Egypt or the Ghost of the Nile, which honestly I would be down for. Just let's
yeah.
clean up some of these things,
Let's
maybe.
It
I don't
just
know.
yeah, it
So
just yeah.
Egypt would be cool. Ghost of Egypt would
the
be
Ghost of
Always
the
into
Nile. Let's
the Ghost
go.
of the
I'd
Nile.
play
All
that
right,
game. Are you
do
kidding me?
that, Sucker Punch.
All right, moving on. Number 7. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Hey, I'm glad this made the list.
Only because of Zach.
Really? Did
How
either of you
high-
have this on the list?
It was 11-12 range for me with Yote.
Dang.
yeah,
And
I
Calvin, I don't think
loved
you-
it. I loved it. I played quite a bit of it. But I didn't finish it, and
I didn't finish it either. and I
and
put
it's
it.
one of those games where I reflect on it and I'm like, it's a Baldur's Gate thing to me, where it's like when I'm in it, when I'm playing it, I'm having fun, but it's also a bit of work. It is a
bit of work.
it's an RPG game, and you are just like everything's kind of cumbersome, and there's a lot of systems, and
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like a tabletop experience a little bit, and those are harder for me to truly
Yeah,
love. So
I get it.
I
but
get sad.
take
every
it
time I
away.
remember my
Where was it
baby
for you?
to Finish Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, same. It was number 3 for me because,
Number 3.
and I didn't finish. Didn't finish it. I probably put 20 plus hours into. I just was doing all sorts of stupid random stuff. But this is one of those RPGs
It's
that
one of those games.
I
Yeah.
lost myself in it, and the opening is so good. The characters are so good. I felt like I was in that world. I was Henry, and these were all, I was living it. It was,
Mhm.
oh my god, it was so good. It felt like
The
playing.
world is so realized.
It's so realized, and it felt like the way Elder Scrolls Oblivion felt when I first played that. Back in 2006 or whatever, 2007. That game, this felt like a spiritual successor to that, except it was better in every way. It doesn't have, it's not as much fantasy, it's more historical, but it feels kind of fantasy still. And just the open, like some of the early sequences where you're sneaking through the reeds with your friend, and you're like kind of spying on the women bathing, and then you encounter, bad guys trying to get you, and then you get separated from your friend, and the scenery and the vistas when you first like see the castle, or the castle or whatever, and when you come to town, and the interactions you have with people. The systems are cumbersome, but it feels like so apt. The way
I think it's the most. I wasn't the Bethesda guy. I didn't play these games, and everyone talks about, oh, Bethesda, they can't do it anymore. They're not making these games anymore. If that's your game, if that's your jam, this is it. This studio is making the best Bethesda game there is out there.
That's exactly it. Like, and I've played.
If this is your style, this is a top game of all time.
Totally. And
like if this is your style.
Bethesda has kind of lost me, and not totally, but like they don't hit the same way they used to for me. This hit like the old school Bethesda did, in a way that I thought these type of games just didn't work for me anymore. And then I played this and I was like, no, this is it. This is the one. I'm going to go back to it at some point because it was just so brilliant.
It's not even necessarily my like peak type of gaming, and it gave me a glimpse into like, okay, I see what people you have experienced in the past that they're missing. Like that's what this game is doing. Honestly, I do wonder that like I have a bit of the Calvin problem where he's just so annoying. No, I'm just kidding. Where I think first person is a detriment to me a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And if this game were more Red Dead Redemption 2 coded, I think it would have hit a lot harder for me. And I understand that would take away from some of this game because there are some elements to the first person. Actually, the combat is really interesting in this game, and a lot of people hated it, and it's very cumbersome and kind of weird. But once you get used to it, it's kind of cool. Yeah. And there's elements that are better for this game being first person. But for me personally, I do wonder that like if it were more of an Arthur pulled back camera, Red Dead Redemption 2 style, if that would have hit better for me. But
yeah, that's interesting. And I don't know. I love how immersive it felt, and it really, I think the first person partly added for me, and just like, you are Henry. Like, I am. That's one of those few games where when I was playing it, I legit felt like that. I lost track of my own reality. You know,
and
like
not to
my
be lost in this,
relationships suffered because of that.
yeah, not to be lost in this. That sentence is an important factor in top 10 of NeverLag's list. Relationships and life necessities must suffer for it to be ranked highly. But not to be lost in this, Henry is a good character.
He's also
Henry is a good character.
It somehow walks the line. A lot of times when you're like a first person, like you think Elder Scrolls or whatever, your character is kind of just a blank slate for you create what your guy looks like. You don't really see yourself most of the time, and you're just interfacing with the world. This somehow balance that between you are inhabiting Henry, but Henry is a realized character, and you get to choose.
Henry's a person. Yeah.
You get to choose how he plays a little bit. But something about.
But Henry's still a person. He kind of reacts to how you play as him.
Yes. And he is a person in the world with a story, and people respond to him based off of that. And you can alter that in various ways, but like, you have a legit character with a character arc and stuff.
Not a newborn character.
Yeah, that balance elevated it. I think that partly made it better than like a lot of Bethesda experiences.
And also,
I'm like, okay, this is both somehow.
This game is truly at its best in its world and exploration too, because despite it being historical and not having any fantasy in it, just being like the countryside of England.
Yeah.
I did get lost exploring the countryside of England.
Me too.
Like just hopping on your horse, riding into the thick meadows and like finding a bandit camp, finding probably didn't make it to Act 2. But once you get to Act 2, there's this whole castle set piece where you are a prisoner to this castle for like several hours. This is the location you're at. And I thoroughly like just enjoyed being this. All right, I'm at this castle now. I got to explore this castle. I have some missions. I can sneak around at night. Like, this set piece of this castle on a hill became like a whole chapter of this game. And it was amazing. Like, I remember walking around the like watchtower sides of the castle with a torch at night, hiding from guards, and just like, this game is incredibly immersive in that way. I didn't know that in 2025 I'd be playing so much digital Farkle, but that is in this game, and there's a lot of Farkle to be played.
Yep.
Inventory management is here in full spades. You're constantly encumbered. That's not fun. But I thought they did a cool thing too with the outfit system, and kind of an interesting take on like what you wear matters and how you represent yourself and what kind of thing you're trying to do. And they masterfully made it so you can have 3 full outfits to choose from by pushing a button. All right, here's my stealth outfit. Here's my combat outfit. Here's my I'm a douchebag and I'm royalty outfit. Like,
trying to get into the king's party.
And you could create the stats for each outfit, and you literally just cycle between them at the click of a button. And so taking some of those, this still is a get lost in the weeds, incredibly deep, complicated RPG game. But they did manage to bring some of those complex elements to a more casual head, basically, so that they were easier to digest and more people could maybe get into it. I genuinely, it's this and Baldur's Gate. These are games that I'm like, I need to get back to and finish. It's just the games that I stare at and I'm like, I can't get back into that. It's so much. It's so hard to just jump back into that.
It's the problem that you got out of it in the first place. You just had to finish it while you're in it.
Yeah, but the problem is these games are 100 hours long too. So like,
that is a challenge. I'm glad this made the list. I guess I have myself to thank for that.
You have yourself to blame for this being number 7.
I never played it, and I probably never will. It is,
and I never will. The end.
That does successfully kind of scare me off, I think, with how heavy of the RPG
it's not that bad. It's great. Just do it. It's not as bad as anyone says.
But that all being said, like, even just as an outsider, I can objectively look at it and see, like, I get why this is like so great. So.
Yeah. Once you can decide once you have your Steam machine, it's on our Steam library.
Yeah.
And when you decide,
all right, guys,
you will.
Y'all ready?
Yes. What's number 6?
Number 6. We have a tie, but I gave it a 1A. I gave it a 1A, 1B due to tiebreaker being this year.
Okay.
So 1A, 9 Souls. 1B, 1B, Zach, Outer Wilds.
Okay.
Okay. So
actually,
we got a two for here. Let's start with Outer Wilds, because Zach put Outer Wilds at 2, and that was shocking to me.
I almost put it at 1.
Dude, that's crazy. I did not know Outer Wilds.
But I felt like Claire Obscure deserved it. Outer Wilds changed me. It changed.
I'm going to call you Skillip. I'm going to call you Ralph.
He's right about this. The fact that he mentioned it like 3 years in a row makes total sense. And the thing I really don't understand is how it didn't hit. Like, you don't have to like it as much as me. I'm surprised how much it didn't really hit for you. Outer Wilds is one of those games that like changed the way I interfaced with gaming. It was a piece of art in a variety of ways. The music was so good. The exploration was so fulfilling, and it required you like what's the term, like Metroidvania? Was that it? I forget what it's called.
Based, like,
yeah, it's like the way you progress is you just learn how things work. And that was really satisfying, is like to figure out the mystery of this universe, which I think that could hinder replay, obviously, because like once you know things, you know them. But the progression of it was so special. And then just the way this game is constructed, it's meant to make you like existentially question your place in the universe and what it means to exist in the universe and what matters, like in the scale of the grand cosmos, and terrifying things like black holes and unknown aliens and threats from space and the ending of a star. And amidst all these things, what does it really matter? Like who you are and the connections you have. And yet that matters more than anything. And the way the narrative unravels kind of subtly through little things you read from like past civilizations or past peoples long gone, or from fellow space travelers you meet here and there along the way, from the music that you hear and the motifs of this music that echo throughout this game at various points. And the way it's also kind of like a roguelike, or like it's the cyclical thing. You die, the universe ends every however, I forget if it's like 22 minutes or 15 minutes.
It was like 15.
Something like that. Every 15-ish minutes, the universe ends and you restart. And so it's kind of like, but you're building this knowledge and you're seeing these cycles and you're learning how to break them. And then I think at the end, it just really hit me, this idea of like what it means to exist and experience life and the meaning we make. And as we try and figure out our place, it was just so good. It was so good. And some of the most interesting like environments and like really strange sci-fi things happening with planets, where you'd have like 2 planets like locked in this kind of double helix orbit, and you would be going between. In one planet had all this sand, and the gravity of the other planet would drain it away, and then they'd flip and it would go back, and you would use that to like solve puzzles and traverse these places. And there was so much creativity baked into it. It's one of those things where like this could only be a video game as an experience, but yet
for sure
it enabled like some of my favorite video game music and some really great, if subtle, writing, and all of that coming together. And like, this is just something I will never forget. I thought it was a brilliant video game, a brilliant piece of art. And I loved it. The farther because when I first finished it, I was like, that was amazing. And I didn't think it would be this high on my list. And every month that passes, I'm like, I feel like I kept bumping it up higher to the point where I was like, I was debating if this would be my number 1. I don't think it quite is, but it's really good. This could be in my top 10 of all time, potentially. That's where I'm at.
It's wild, man.
I was going to ask that actually, but I know little enough about the game. I mean, more or less kind of what you've talked about is what I know about the game, but it sounds like I, at the very least, need to try it and see if it works for me.
I think it's worth doing that.
We're officially at the point. We're officially at the point here where, I need you to play it, Kelvin, because I need to know.
We need to know if Levi's wrong.
If I'm wrong, because for all intents and purposes, I apparently should have had a spiritual experience playing this game, and I just didn't. I played it, and I was like, "Oh, that was
based on some of the things you like." I feel like it makes no sense.
So
I would have guessed
one of two things happened: either it just for some reason doesn't click for me, or this also is a game that I played, a little bit earlier on before maybe I had played as many games. I don't know. Maybe I just kind of missed the boat and wasn't paying enough attention, and maybe it would hit differently from now. Thankfully, it's been long enough that I think I could replay it, even though it's one of those games you kind of play just once.
Timing.
I think I could replay it, and I am at this point now with your endorsement here at number 2, and then skill up, never shutting up about it.
Yeah.
I'm very curious, Calvin. I would be curious to hear your thoughts on the game as a final. Like, do I need to replay this or not?
Be a tiebreaker and decide if there's something deeply wrong with you.
I would love to hear.
Yeah, basically.
And the one last thing I'll say, Calvin, is that I bounced off of this game like 3 times, getting in like an hour even, and then I got life got in the way, this or that. It didn't fully click with me the first 2 times. I was like, it's weird to control at first, and it was like I don't really understand how it wants me to play it. So you have to persist a little bit, but it clicked. It finally clicked, and when it clicks and when you get through it, I don't know. For me, it was like transformative.
I will say it definitely is not it's not a game concerned with onboarding. It's not telling you what to do or anything. So you really kind of have to establish the gameplay loop for yourself over an hour or 2. It's not gonna ease you into it. You kind of got to jump in and like figure out what you're doing and where you're going, and it's entirely user controlled. Figure out what's happening. Try and stop it. There's no more information. Go forth.
You have to embrace that. I think the first couple times I was wanting it to direct me a little more, and I just wasn't fully committing to it.
I could see that being a roadblock for me, but if I know that going in, like
you have to embrace that. You have to say, I'm just gonna go. I figure out how the ship works. Figure it out. I'm gonna just start going.
If I went in blind, I could very much see that being a kind of a stopper for me. But if I know that going.
Well, add it to your list, Cal, because we need a tiebreaker here, and I need to know if I need to replay this game. So, 9 Souls. This is one for me that when I originally made my list, it was a little lower, and it kept climbing a couple spots as I was thinking back to just how good this game was as a 2D.
Where was it on your list?
Metroidvania Sekiro-like. On my list, 9 Souls is 7.
Nice.
Okay, it's number 6 for me.
Number 6 for Calvin.
I think I had it at 7 or 8 last year because I think I technically started it at the end of last year.
Oh, that's what happened. I was wondering. I couldn't remember if you played it or not because it wasn't on your list this year.
Yeah, because I played 80% of it last year. So
okay.
But if I had it on the list, I think last time it was like.
So it might have jumped a spot or 2, but yeah, coming in strong at number 6, 9 Souls. Yeah, man, we were waiting on this game a long time. This was one of those games. It's hard to remember kind of before a game releases, once it releases, but like 9 Souls was one of those that we were kind of waiting on forever. And like, when will we get a date? Will this game ever be good? And lo and behold, it came out, and just a polished, excellent Metroidvania. Like I would say it's pretty light Metroidvania. It's more of a Sekiro focused combat type of game, but really
backtracking and stuff is pretty minimal.
Ability upgrades I feel like are pretty minimal. It's more combat upgrades almost, but the story and the combat are about as good as you get out of a 2D game, I think.
Yeah, I was really surprised and impressed with the story. I mean, especially looking now at the ending, I think hit pretty good and had some impact and some weight. But also just along the way, the characters that you meet and that you end up having at your house, your hub, and like I forget his name. Schwan?
Schwan. How could you forget Schwan? Or is it Shan? Schwan? I don't know.
The boy that you take in. I ended up getting far more attached to Schwan and like their relationship,
his development
than I ever expected.
And their relationship, yeah. And also it had some good like morals there about like kind of an analogy between like, whether it was racism or whatever, just like the way they viewed the primitive people of this planet or whatever. But also just mixed with a really cool like sci-fi story, like the sci-fi story of what happened here, what's going on the space station, what it is a revenge. Like speaking of a year of revenge stories, GOTY 6. Yeah. This might have been a better revenge story.
I think 9 Souls had a better revenge. It was more.
Yeah.
I feel
there's
like
more intrigue and like there's something. There's like a mystery to it and like bigger scale.
It felt a little different.
Which there's something to be said for a personal vendetta, but like this was like a conspiracy almost. A conspiracy vendetta.
Of the GOTY 6 and what happened and what they're involved in, and
The GOTY 6, or are you talking about 9 Souls?
Oh, I meant the 9 souls.
Of the, what do they call
the Yotei 9?
The Yotei 9. Yeah,
Not
same
to be
joke we got
confused
there.
with the Yotei 6.
6 souls.
And the combat is just it's unique, and it gave me Sekiro moments.
Yeah,
just like
that's
Sekiro
a good
2D, which I didn't think was possible, but like, and it was kind of weird too. It had some unique mechanics. The talisman that you can like slap on if you dodge through an enemy. At first, I was like, that's really weird and kind of funky, but man, by the end of the game, you're just like zipping around and exploding talismans and parrying and so good, man.
It's good. Actually, looking back, I had a lot of fun with that game. Yeah,
I think that it is. I feel pretty confident. I don't play that many 2D games, especially with more of a combat focused 2D game. But I think that it is the best 2D combat I've ever played. It's near perfect, I think. So,
I mean, it's so different than Hollow Knight, but they're both really, really well done. It's a little less focused on positioning. Yeah, Hollow Knight is all movement and positioning, and Sekiro, Nine Souls is all parrying and reflexes. So the boss fights really good. I mean, some better than others, but like legitimately a really solid boss list. You could go in and, like a Souls game, you could rank these bosses in this game. They're memorable, and the final boss is an all-timer. It's freaking hard, and it is satisfying to the point where after I beat it, I went back and it has a boss mode where you can refight. I was like, I can do better. I went back and I fought it for another hour to get like a really clean run down that I saved a video of, and it's one of those fights.
The final
boss. It's a what's the final boss to Sekiro?
Ishin.
Sword Saint Ishin. I was
gonna say,
not quite, but close.
It's all of your skills coming together.
It's the 2D version of Ishin. It really is.
It's the closest I've felt to Ishin since Ishin, and that's
I would agree with
very
that.
high bar.
Oh, you've drifted apart from Ishin, huh?
Me?
You said it's the closest you've felt to Ishin since
in a long time.
You guys aren't close anymore?
Yeah, we don't
talk anymore.
Rift forming there.
I feel like we don't
Swish
talk anymore.
Is a great joke.
I hardly know you.
All right. Do we have anything else to say? I love the art style. Great art style. Great. Love the like Tau Punk world and very cool.
That's a good game.
Okay, moving on. Number 5.
Top 5.
Top 5. This is a heavy hitters.
All right.
Any guesses?
Silk Song is my guess.
5.
Based on the fact that you went
that too, but it feels low. It feels
low.
Well, Zach, you got the right letter of the alphabet. Split Fiction.
I got the right letter of the alphabet.
Split Fiction comes at 5 again. A game that would be higher if all 3 of us played it.
That's true. I didn't play Spit Fiction. I played Spit Fiction. Not as good. Don't recommend playing that with family members.
Spit Fiction, way too much, way too moist. Don't recommend.
Not good. Not good.
Drippy. Split Fiction, man. Number 5 for me. It was. So this is one that moved around for me as well. This came in at number 4 for me.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. We kind of were a little different on this one. It was number 8 for me.
I originally had Split when I put out my list, my rough draft of my list. Split Fiction was more like 7. And the more I just looked at it, for me, I don't know how it is for you guys. I do the in-depth weighing, like what's better and what's not. But sometimes I also just look at my list and I'm just like, that doesn't look right there.
Yeah, just
like, it'll feel wrong. Right. And so I moved it, and all of a sudden at 4, I'm like, yeah, Split Fiction is definitely the 4th best game I played this year. And even then, that might be a disservice to it. It's what does it do wrong, honestly? Like
maybe I was just too hurt by Laser Hell.
Yeah, he's still reeling from Laser Hell, man. No, Split Fiction. So I'll start with the things that originally had it at 7 for me. I don't feel like it hit as well. It didn't hit for me as much as It Takes Two. And I don't know why. Because the irony of it is it's almost a reverse Yotei Tsushima situation where I really didn't like the characters in It Takes Two. But I liked the world better. I liked the Toy Story element feel of It Takes Two.
It's the little people in a big Yeah.
Little people in a big house.
That
It
goes a
works,
long
man.
way.
I don't know what to do. And here's the crazy part. Split fiction is sci-fi and fantasy. And so when Split Fiction was announced, I'm like, oh, I'll like this
this is
even
gonna be a home
better.
run.
Turns out little people, big normal house. It beats sci-fi.
That's the true genre. Like, we're gonna have to do a list of ranking our favorite little people, big house games.
I mean, it's got some bangers. We're talking Tiny King, Grounded, and It Takes Two. It's a tough list to start already.
Rank that? I don't know. Yeah.
So, anyways, that's the truth. Is I got out of it. I'm like, I really liked Split Fiction, but I think I liked It Takes Two better, and I still feel that way. But same. I can't knock Split Fiction.
No,
it's still perfection. I mean, from start to finish, me and Calvin played it, had an absolute blast. The entire game, just grinning, just the whole time being like, holy crap, I can't believe this, I can't believe that. Mechanics constantly changing and never being unsatisfying. I don't know how you pull that off. Visually, performance-wise, this game looks great, runs great, even when you're doing split screen. The bounce between sci-fi and fantasy was very cool, and the mechanics always were very intuitive and fun to use between two people, and all of that culminating in the final sequence of this game, which is just one for the books, where it's just like the entire last hour of this game, your jaw is just on the floor, and you're like, this is insane. Spoilers. This is insane. The technical what they pull off in the final hour of that game and how cool it is from a gameplay standpoint and visually is just something to be studied. Like, genuinely, it's amazing what they pulled off. And comparing and critiquing It Takes Two and Split Fiction, getting lost in the minutia, who cares? I can't wait to see what they do next, because if they just keep doing this, like, it's so good.
Yeah, it's so good. They are just dominating that genre, and I just want more of it.
They're bar setters. They've definitely they reinvigorated the genre, and they've set the bar, and no one's gotten near it yet. So
one of my, like, I feel like I have to mention it while you brought it up, talking about the end of the game and how amazing it is. It's a little bit of a double-edged sword, where I enjoyed the whole game, but then after the very end and like that last section, I couldn't help but look back at the rest of the game and be like, I wish that more of the game had that. And like, why did they just save that for the end? And maybe it's just technical and time, but
sure,
it's like,
or it could have been a little longer or explored it a little bit more. I do remember something about that. Oh, you know what it was? It was the element, the Bokura element. That's what we wanted more of at the very end, where it's like, you're seeing something a little different than me. But we also came to the conclusion that I kind of hope their next game is actually not split screen, and that sounds really counterintuitive to what they're good at, but like, I want them to make a game where it's co-op at its core, but you don't want to see the other person's screen, because you have to work together. And it'll make sense, Zach, if you play this game at the end, but it kind of does a shift on it tilts the whole thing, and you both are like experiencing the same world but different. And it lends itself towards some puzzle elements and different things. And as cool as it was to see both on the same screen, there's novelty in that. Me and him were also like, oh, but how cool would it be if I didn't know that's what you were seeing?
I almost feel like the game, again, it's hard to just say this like straightly, and like, there's nuance, but I really think the game could have been better. As a whole.
Totally.
Too.
I really think that the game almost entirely would have just been better if it was not split screen. And I don't know, maybe that's like
it's tough. It's tough.
It was unsplit fiction.
Yeah.
Unified fiction.
Unified.
Just seeing the other person was not
synchronous, but I think not together fiction.
Did not outweigh what could have been.
I don't know. It's an amazing game. You got to play it. I can't believe you made it through 2025 without playing Split Fiction. That's kind of wild.
I can, but it was,
man, I thought, wasn't that like one of your most anticipated as well?
Yes,
that's true. It's true. But it was one of your most anticipated, right?
It was.
Get Maddie a controller and play it.
I know. She's not quite at the point where she can actually functionally do a lot, but she's getting there. So
what about Belle? Is she too cool for you now?
She's too cool for me. She's very into Pokemon. She's been playing Silksong a lot too. So she plays games, but it's hard to get her attention off of whatever she's obsessing over.
Whatever she wants to do is what she's doing. Okay. Yeah. All right. Are we ready? Was there anything else? Anything else on Split Fiction? I feel like we just kind of we didn't really break it down, but we just kind of glazed it for a second. It's
I think that's okay.
I mean,
it's amazing.
It's my biggest regret, but I do think Laser Hell might be worth talking about a little bit and how cool it is.
Yeah, we're moving on.
Okay.
No, there's a really hard thing that we've been referring to called Laser Hell. It's like the most hidden thing. Level. You'll never find it unless the internet helped you, and it's a gauntlet that if you die, you completely restart. And me and Calvin spent probably 10 hours.
I remember you telling me about this a while ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And we got close, and we haven't beaten it, so we'll have to come back to it at
some point.
One day. All right. Number 3.
No. 4. We're on 4.
4. Yeah. Whoa.
You're jumping ahead.
Slow your roll.
Sorry, I'm looking at my list. I keep bouncing back and forth, and I'm like, oh, we just talked about that, so it has to be somewhere else, because Split Fiction was 4 for me.
Gotcha.
Number 4. Not 3. Blueprints.
Hey. Okay, awesome. I had Blueprints at number 5, so yeah, that's great.
At number didn't play it.
You didn't? Oh yeah. My God, Calvin!
See, I'm telling you, this is the problem with the 3 of us. Is only 2 of us played everything. No, 3 of us did not play anything.
We'll try and.
I played a couple hours, but
not enough.
Blueprints was 6 for me, right below DK Bonanza.
Okay.
This is actually Blueprints is one for me that was at 10 when I originally made my list, and made it all the way up. Made it all the way up to 6.
I had Blueprints at 9 or 10 as well at first, and then I pulled it up for the same reason. It's at 5 on my list.
5, okay.
Yeah, so I had the same thing where I wrote it lower. And...
Yeah. The reason being is that I left with a bad taste in my mouth a little bit, and that kind of made it harder to properly estimate this game. But this is the first game of the year where I lost my life to this game. It's all I could think about for like 2 to 3 weeks.
Yep.
Just it's all I wanted to do until it was done, and so unique. What a new weird concept that kind of doesn't work sometimes, but like mostly works, and just kind of brings this like roguelite element to The Witness or something. And I will say, for the first, from start till credits, this is a 10 out of 10 game. Post credits, it really suffers from not having some of the gameplay designs that could alleviate some of the frustration that come from someone who wants to solve these harder puzzles, but now I'm just fighting annoying RNG trying to solve some of these puzzles, as opposed to from start to credits, there's enough puzzles that even if I can't solve the one I want to on this run, I can work on another one or another one. But once you get after the credits, there's very specific things you're trying to do.
Yeah, it's too RNG
based. It's too RNG based, and it really left a bad taste in my mouth, because I wanted to keep going. I was like, I want to solve everything. I want to find out how deep this well goes. Like, the game just keeps going with secrets to a wild degree.
Yeah.
And I wanted to keep going. And even someone like me, I eventually just had to be like, I have to stop playing this game, because it's just so much time and RNG to try and solve some of these things. So that's why it fluctuated for me. But as I was sitting on it, I'm just like, Blueprints, it's 6. It's not 10. Like, I lost my life to this game. It was so engrossing. Like, I was lost in this game and these secrets and mapping out this mansion, this estate. So
same. Yeah, I lost weeks to this as well. The kids got into it. Me and both of my kids, we would sit and we'd take turns with the controller. We'd draft rooms and decide how to try and tackle it. And some of the mysteries, there were so many layers of mysteries that you couldn't help but think of everything as a potential thing to solve. And so it becomes this really fun cerebral puzzle at all times that you're just trying to take apart this thing. And so, in the late post credits, it's tough because it gets really hard to actually finish some stuff, but
it gets in the weeds a little bit.
But all of the mystery and all of these things underlying what's actually going on were so fascinating. Some of which I think you can kind of pay off depending on how much you do. Some of which maybe it's just left to the imagination, but even that, the way it was done was so good. And I've never played anything like this. Like this captured my imagination in such an interesting way. I thought the same thing. I was like, this has to be 5. This is like one of the most transformative things I played this year, even if I had some issues later on with it. Like it was something
And
special.
for someone like you, Calvin, if you never play it, fine. But if you are at all interested, still, I will alleviate some of your concern of the complaints and the things that we've burdened you with, knowing if you from start to credits, this is a very well made and playable game with less frustrations.
The thing
It's
is,
after credits where things get
the thing is, I
little
played
crazy
hours of the game. Like, I made it far enough in to, I think, have a fairly confident opinion on it. And for where I'm at with gaming, I've come a long way with roguelites, where it used to be one of my genres I would never touch.
Yeah.
And now there's several roguelites I love, and they can be a favorite game for me. But they're still like tentative, and it's not a guarantee at all. And I don't know why. Maybe it's the puzzle combination, but Blueprints was one of those where the roguelite did not work for me, and I did not enjoy it.
That's too bad.
Interesting. You just never know. You never know.
You never know. Sometimes things don't click.
As much as I raised you, sometimes I just don't know what's going to click for you,
Yeah, sometimes we look at our children and think, who are you?
I will say, kind of maybe final thought on Blueprints. It's funny because I can't even really think of the music, but just kind of the calm, cerebral vibe and soundscape of being in that game was... this is a game I surely won't forget. I won't forget this game.
Yeah.
And for that reason, that's why it rose. Again, it's unique. It stands out. It stays with you. And the other thing I love about the puzzle elements of this game is it's so cool when you can look at something a dozen or more times, and it's not till hours in that you look at it different, or you realize you were looking over something that is really important. And that this game has that, because you will see these rooms dozens of times, and then 5 hours in you'll go, oh, I need to go back into that room and look at this thing that I've looked at but never really looked at because I didn't know it mattered. And it's just that's always such a cool thing when you can see something over and over again, and until you know it matters, you don't see it. Mm-hmm. It's just a great puzzle element.
Yeah, it does that really that great thing where it plays with your expectations of things, where all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, something just clicked into place.
And then it gets you to the point, like you said, where you're looking at everything. You're like, is that a thing?
Yeah.
Which can be good or bad. That's the point of... that's kind of the like conundrum of puzzle games. It's always hard to strike that balance between getting someone to look at everything and not look at everything that doesn't matter. So
yeah.
All in all, it does a pretty good job. I am curious. I wonder if they've patched it or made any improvements to the quality of life.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because if they did, it's one I'd almost at this point it's impossible to jump back in on the puzzles I was trying to solve at this point. I don't even remember what they were, but it is one of those games that has you, it had me writing on paper.
Me too.
It had me taking pictures with my phone, and that's always the sign of a good puzzle game. So
yeah, same.
Writing all my little
and I
thoughts
never do that
and
type
like
of thing.
no, but like writing down my conjecture and like, does this matter? And like, you get your yarn out on your board and you're like, is this connected to this?
Yeah.
So there you go. There you have it. Where were we? Blueprints at 4. Okay. Top 3, guys.
Here we go.
Top 3. Number 3. Overture.
I'm okay with
Lies
that.
Lies of P Overture, because it was top 3
3
for both Calvin and I.
That
3
makes
for
sense.
me as well.
I didn't play it, but I imagine it would have been on my list had I played
Anything that's in 2 of our top 3s is probably going to make the top if that whets your appetite for what's to come. So
yeah.
Lies of P Overture DLC. Some say it doesn't belong here, and to those people we say, get off my lawn.
Mm-hmm.
Lies of P Overture is the top 3 game of 2025. So
yeah, I mean, I vocalized this to you. I was trying to figure out if Overture should make my list, and like, because of it's a DLC and all this, but ultimately
invalid.
Just kidding. Yeah, ultimately I was just like, Recount. I can't not put it on the list because it delivered an experience that topped so many other full games I played. It was just it was that good, and it elevated the base game of Lies of P substantially, more than I ever would have thought.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always hard when it's a DLC. I mean, obviously last year, this is not a new thing. We had Erdtree, and I would say Erdtree is definitely more content than Overture. But Overture delivers a solid, 10 to 12 hours, which is some full games.
Yeah.
And
It's not too small.
no, and the locations
That's what I always
and the
tell
boss, 10 to 12, I don't know. There's no joke there. 10 to 12 hours, not too small. Haha. The
10 to
locations and
12
boss
is average.
list
Wait, that's
is average. Wait, I'm digging a hole here. Um, the boss list here. I mean, it's a small list, but it is a strong list. I remember when we got done with Overture, looking at it and being like, dude, these 4 or 5 bosses are all in the top 10 bosses of Lies of P.
They all
like
match
total
or surpass
the
most
best
of the
bosses
base
from the base game.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100% really unique. The second boss battle in this game is so unique with it's a boss that's like tethered to another thing that's attacking you, and they really uniquely designed it so that the color of the tether kind of alerts you. You have to pay attention to one while being aware of the other peripherally.
It'll be
And
off screen.
the way you learn to fight it, off screen is usually such a problem in these fights and the camera and stuff, but the way the tether will alert you and stuff, this fight is so well designed that it allows them to do a 2v1 and it feel really good and really satisfying to get down and to learn. And then and then the final boss fight is an all-timer. I mean, I haven't done an all-time boss ranking list, but I wouldn't be surprised if the final boss fight to this game or to Overture is, I mean, it's definitely a top 5 boss fight of all time.
Wow.
It's so good story-wise and mechanics-wise. Like story-wise, it's so good. It's so good, the final boss and the way it's delivered. The phase 1 to phase 2 transition is insane and feels impossible. And then by the time you beat it, you feel like a god. You're just like, I can fight anything.
Like, it's we're so far from this, but if you think back to when Elden Ring was still pretty new, and when Melania was like all everyone talked about.
Yeah.
Melania was like the hardest boss ever for so long, but it was also controversial because a lot of people, me included, feel like she's a little unfair, a little too dialed up in some ways, especially for the gameplay of Elden Ring. The final boss of Overture, I think, hits some of those notes that Melania does of difficulty and kind of the insanity of what you have to deal with, and yet the gameplay,
while feeling much more fair,
the parrying, it allows you to handle it, even though it's very difficult. And so
it's honestly, if you took Sword Saint Ishin and multiplied him times 2, I think that's what this boss is.
It's quite insane.
So we're getting some power creep in the Souls genre here, but the point is, this DLC is phenomenal. It also made me care about the story more than I ever did in the base game, and that's not that actually does a disservice to the base game. The story is good in Lies of P. The characters are good, but I kind of loosely cared about it. Was like, oh, it's good. The DLC just goes hard after some of these extra characters that are in the base game and fleshes out some more story. And it's just it ties everything together so well to the point where now Lies of P with this DLC, you can't call it not a top 3 Souls game ever made. Like, it just is. Even if you're a FromSoft fanboy, like, this has to compete with whatever it is. Bloodborne plus its DLC, Sekiro, Dark Souls 3 plus its DLCs, Elden Ring, and Erdtree. Like, this has to be in the discussion at this point with the full package. And then not to be lost in this, the DLC also added a boss rush mode where now you can go in and fight all the bosses from the game, and with unlockable difficulties that make them even harder. And I lost a ton of time to that, just really perfecting, because sometimes in these games, especially when you get good at Souls games, I can beat a boss sometimes a little bit earlier than I'd like. And these fights, they make them harder to the point where you have to perfect these boss fights. And the boss fights are so good in this game that it's worth doing. It's worth perfecting these fights. And I had a lot of fun going through and revisiting even the base game bosses and just perfecting them. So what a game, dude.
I just want to expand a little bit more on just the story. You already talked about it. It makes the base game story so much better. But with the DLC, the entirety of Lies of P's story is actually one of my all-time favorite video game stories ever. And like
That's high
a
praise.
lot of that, I think the DLC did a lot of extra lifting there, but between how good the story is and how emotionally invested I got in some of the reveals and gut punches that it delivers,
Yeah.
are some of the best I've experienced. And then you top that with, or you combine that with like top tier gameplay and some of the best Souls gaming there is.
Lies of P is going to be top 3 on Zach's list 2026.
That's right. I was just going to say, one of my biggest regrets is not getting to that this year or last year.
One of my biggest regrets for you.
The year before that.
I know it honestly might have. It probably wouldn't have moved more than one spot, but
might have made number
it would have moved one spot.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready?
Let's do it. Number 2.
Number 2. Silk Song.
Okay,
obviously.
that makes sense.
Silk Song, obviously.
So where was
the
it
next
you,
two?
Zach,
next two are no surprise here.
For me, it was number 6.
Yeah, his was a little bit lower.
Yeah. I mean, I loved it. Number 6 on this list is pretty respectable. Like the things I had, the real thing I've debated was like whether or not it should be ahead of Blueprints was one of the big, and Tinykin.
But you didn't beat Silk Song, did you?
I didn't beat Silk Song. I rolled credits, but I didn't finish Act 3.
Right. We had the whole thing about the frustration and getting.
And I got frustrated.
Act 3 kind of put you down.
That put me down, and then Blueprints was so unique and transformative, and Tinykin was so perfect that I decided to put those a little higher. But I mean, Silk Song's great. That's fair. I loved it.
Totally fair.
You know, it has the magic of Team Cherry, so I'm not at all upset about it being this high.
Yeah. So, there's not much more to say about Silk Song. It hasn't already been said, or we haven't already said. I mean, it's kind of what's the other game that we were talking about earlier? Split Fiction. It Takes Two. It's kind of like Silk Song, Hollow Knight, Tomato, Potato, like different strokes for different folks. Some people think one's better. I do think Hollow Knight's better, but I wouldn't be surprised if over time and playing Silk Song some more, if my opinion changes on that. But at the end of the day, Silk Song is just like a 10 out of 10 game. I mean, it's more of what Team Cherry do best. More of these amazing worlds and characters that you interact with, and music. Some of the best.
Yeah.
I mean,
incredible.
The best games here have incredible soundtracks, like even better than most years. I feel like
about that, but the music.
Yeah. So I mean, I can't look at Silk Song, and all of my complaints aside, or feeling like it does feel like it came from a DLC and lacking some things that Hollow Knight did for me. It also improved some things, like the mobility of Hornet, the ability to sprint around and jump and like just the sheer quickness and movement felt like going a little bit from like Dark Souls to Sekiro. Like you're just flying around this map. The like hover claw line was a great ability.
Claw line is specifically, I think it's one of my all-time favorite like 2D Metroidvania abilities that I've used in a
really
game.
Wow.
Yeah. I really
it's really good. It definitely wasn't used the way that I imagined it was going to be used, but great boss list as well. I do think the bosses probably are better than Hollow Knight, even though I'm not sure. There still might not be a boss I like more than Nightmare King Grim, but like just in general, the bosses, because the combat's better and quicker, the boss fights are really satisfying in this game. Climbing the cathedral, the whole thing was just a very atmospheric,
love the
immersive. The Citadel, the very immersive. And the final boss fight for the true ending is really good. I mean, we're talking
another all-timer.
It's in the discussion of an all-timer. It's very very good. Some really cool story moments in this game too that kind of tie back to Hollow Knight, and you can't call it a disappointment.
Same, where I agree. There's a lot of back and forth between I like this more in Hollow Knight, I like this more in Silk Song. One of the things I really loved in Silk Song was Hornet as a character, and playing as a character that existed in this world with intentions and who could speak. And
yeah, she was
dialogue,
much more of a
I
real
actually
character.
liked the knight as a
Her
character.
dialogue was awesome.
But Hornet as a character was just so much more interesting.
She also slapped 2 people in this game, which was awesome.
I know.
Yeah. And then another thing that just really elevated all of the gameplay and the boss fights a lot for me was the ability to heal in the air. I think that changed things so much, and they designed bosses around that, and it was a huge elevation for me personally.
They sped everything up and gave you the tools to handle that speed, and made enemies harder to deal with your speed as well. That was one of the things I was impressed with early on in the game. Some of the basic enemies in like the ant area, I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
But some of these basic enemies, I'm like, dude, I'm having a duel with this trash mob enemy. Like, he's legitimately like parrying me and dashing. Like, we're fighting each other like a duel, and this is just a random enemy. So they did a really good job of buffing these enemies to handle your speed and your aggression, and to the point where it legitimately felt like a duel sometimes with some of these enemies, and it was very cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, go ahead.
And then the only other thing I want to talk about, which I'll do spoiler free since Zach hasn't done this, but the true ending after you beat the final boss and like the cutscene that happens there.
Wait, there's a final boss?
No, man.
Dang it, Calvin.
It, like, I enjoyed the story. I love both Hollow Knight and Silksong's story, but that ending kind of caught me off guard and hit me harder than I thought it would, and it got me more excited than I thought it would. It was, I think, maybe a perfect ending to.
Sounds like I need to finish Act 3. Yeah.
I mean, it is Silksong, so yeah. I mean, 2025, we didn't know if we were getting Silksong, and we did, and turns out it was good.
It was, yeah.
Turns out it was good. Turns out Team Cherry can still make games. Let's here's to hoping it doesn't take them 7 years to make the next one, I guess would be my thing.
Yeah.
All right. Zach's out of energy drink. We got to wrap this up, Calvin.
Yeah, I'm going to crash.
Number 1. Any guesses?
We all know.
What could it be? Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Oh, yeah, baby.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say we might be the only outlet to give this game of the year.
I think we're really paving
kind of forging a path. I think so.
Not many people.
We're really shedding light on this game.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny as we get further into this list, I almost feel like I have less to say because we've talked exhaustively about everyone in the industry has talked about Expedition 33.
I know.
But I just want to really quickly, I want to take you back to February, March. I think it was around that time period. We're in our Fantasy Critic League, obviously. We had gotten a trailer for this game. It released pretty quick to like its initial reveal. We got a trailer for this game, and it was one of those games where we all looked at it and we're like, "Oh, that looks
pretty cool.
Looks like a cool little AA thing." Like,
totally.
That looks like a game that is either going to be an 87 or a 69. You know, nice. But like literally, it's like, will that be a high 80s or will it be a low 70s, high 60s type of game? Yeah, you know, because it's showing so much, but it can't deliver that, so it's gonna really hurt critically. That's where we were in the first quarter of this year. And I remember I picked it up on Fantasy. I'm like, oh, it looks good. But I legitimately was like, this could either be 20 points or this could be, I could lose a point, you know?
Yeah.
And we didn't know. We even discussed trades for it early in the year. But just to put your minds back into like, it's so funny to think before these games release, we had no idea as an industry what this game was about to do and what it was. And boy, did it deliver. Like, just holy crap.
We really had no idea. I mean, I remember seeing that trailer and thinking, oh, that looks pretty cool. But also the thing that often happens with those AA trailers is you're like, there's no way like it's going to be as good as it looks.
There's a bunch of smoke and mirrors here.
Yeah. It's like, okay, but it caught my interest. But I was like,
yeah,
yeah, okay, whatever. And it's French. What's going on with that? Like, I don't know. And then sure enough, like it took the world by storm, us included. We started it and it has a really strong start. You know, you get into it, you're like, wow, okay, this is really interesting. And then the combat starts hitting, you're like, this is really good. And you get 50, 60, 70% into the game and you're like, this is a top tier game.
But can they land the plane?
Can they land the plane? And then something happens at the 70% mark, and you're like, oh, this is one of the best games of all time.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, oh, 100%. I was wrong about how good this is. It's
I remember
way better.
being midway through Act 2 and being like, this is incredible. I'm a little afraid to continue because if they don't land this, it's going to be an all-time disappointment because this game is so good. But how are they going to land this? How does this game end? What's happening? Like, how are they going to narratively pay this off?
and the landing was better than everything to come before it, and it totally recontextualizes the entire thing.
Entire world,
and
the entire
story. And suddenly you're like, oh, and then again, everyone said everything. It's so good, and it pays everything off mechanically, narratively, performatively, artistically, thematically. Character, everything pays off.
Honestly, just to like, we're big scope. We could talk about this game forever. To zone in on one thing, you're talking about it pays off everything. It pays off literally pretty much every character in this game you care about has an emotional payoff in the story that is like is
meaningful.
Is closure, is meaningful.
Yeah. I mean, but also doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel too tied up either.
Like I will never forget the look in
Lune.
My brain, in Lune's eyes as she's staring at Verso if you choose the ending to stop painting the canvas. Dude, when she steps through the portal and just is like daggers at Verso and it's just like,
and you get
that's exactly right. Yeah. Like that's Lune. That's
But also, you fully understand where she's coming from. You understand.
Yeah, you understand.
It's an impossible situation. It's like, of course.
Oh my god!
It's a betrayal. It's a betrayal either way. Oh, that ending decision of like you're betraying someone either way is like,
it is some of, if not the best writing I've ever seen, both from narrative and story, and the delivery on that, and the actual character writing and the dialogue is so real and so believable.
Some of the best characters we've ever seen in a game. Eskie and Minoko.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if we're making a top 5 list of characters all time, I don't know how Eskie and Minoko aren't on it. Like, and then the ending, like just the choice. I've always heard people in the games industry look back on, and I can't even tell you what games because I didn't play them, but they always look back on these games where it's you get to
Knights
the end
of the Old Republic,
and it's and it's the choice. What choice did you make? The choice that tore you up and you just sat there thinking about it. I've never played a game like that, and to finally get to a game where it wasn't arbitrary, it wasn't forced. You get to the end and this decision feels real. It feels earned. Heavy. And it feels like you could write an entire thesis on why both are correct.
And
like legitimately.
And why both are betrayal.
And why both are heinous.
Like,
and
I
you
will
just
say,
sit there and you're like,
I've never experienced an ending choice like this. Like, and I've played a couple of those games in the past. Nothing is like this.
When it chills. Prompted and it said fight as Verso or fight as Mael, I think I literally sat there staring at that and like
I know,
internally weeping for like 10 minutes before
I did the same thing. I was like, what do I do? I sat there for a while. Yeah. Oh my gosh,
man. And then for me, I'll just say as a personal aside, like I took French in high school. I've been to France. I have an affinity for France and French things and French culture. I think they are superior. I think they're smug, but they do know everything. You know, they have everything right.
Yeah, I used to hate you for that, but now I've come around.
And playing this game, I was just like, God, I love French. Like, just why do we not have more French games? I just loved every French little bit of this game.
It was, I mean, the French aesthetic was cool, but also like very different because I feel like a lot of stuff we get doesn't have that, and so it was cool in general, but it was also now everything's going to be French.
And to double back again, just on the French thing, like the Lies of P. Now I got 2 of my all-time favorite games.
That's true. That's true.
The French, man, the French are coming for the video games industry. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then just to zoom out even more to the people aspect of this, I don't know if you guys watched the entirety of Skillup's what ended up being a documentary on the making of this game.
Team Sandfall.
The making of this game from Sandfall and the Avengers
Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11 creation of this studio from Reddit and some random website that two people happen to be on at 2 a.m. And like, it is truly unreal that this game exists in the way that it does.
The writer, I'm forgetting her name at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know, but she was on Reddit
and
as a voice actor. He just say, "Hey, will you voice act in this game?" And she ended up being the writer. And apparently, in her brain, she had this story in her brain.
Yeah, she just
chilling.
wrote this.
Like,
it just goes to show
in the world.
It just goes to show, like, some of the most creative, amazing pieces of art are probably hidden in random people everywhere.
Yeah, and we'll never get to see them.
And you may never get to see them, but it also it's like I love that
this one was created.
Totally. And the Guillaume, I'm forgetting his last name, but
Guillermo, or no, is it?
It's Guillaume, I think. But
Guillaume.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it quite right, but yeah, it's Guillaume. His ability to find someone with some talent with no qualifications and just bet on the talent that he saw is like a skill in and of itself. But it also goes to show,
and also an indictment to the entire industry as well, though.
It is. It goes to show like how much like creativity and like freshness matters, and how often that's just overlooked,
and how bankrupt most studios and the industry is, that they're getting rid of people who have these ideas and these passions and these talents because they're chasing the dollars, not seeing that.
Because there was no trend,
eventually cannibalizing the industry.
For what
There's no trend for this.
The story of what this is was never a trend, and it's one of the most impactful. It's one of the most impactful pieces of art I've ever experienced. Like it's like if I had to rank my top 5 things that are like like some type of media experience
outside of even just video games.
Across any medium, this is in the conversation. It's like that good. So it was impossible not to put it at number 1.
Levi, you brought up earlier in this video about like, to make it high on the list, it has to impact your personal life. I mean, this is the game that most by far this year and in a long time consumed me. And like, I was thinking about it every waking minute, and to its credit,
I still think about it.
Yeah. Since I finished it, I've been thinking about it all year while playing other games. Like I can't stop thinking about it.
Absolutely same.
And then
looking forward to getting to the DLC. I haven't touched the DLC yet, so that'll be a fun little thing.
Spoiler free. I have played the DLC, and it's definitely bite sized, but I think that's perfectly fine. It's literally a free thank you, DLC.
Yeah.
But it delivers a really unique and fun new area to explore that's dense and full of interactions and more gestural nonsense that's hilarious.
Awesome.
And then
I love the gestrals, man. So good.
A brand new like super boss that is very difficult and very, very good. So
cool. Artistically amazing. I guess the closing thing for me is that you just can't even. It feels obligatory putting this at one. And it almost feels like, what's the point? Like, it's just one, maybe we should do something different. Maybe something else was better. But like, when you look at it, the way that it won everything at Game of the Awards, you can't be a person of sound mind and be annoyed at it because they were the best at everything this year.
They were.
The music was the best. The story and writing was the best. The art design was the best. Like, they just made the best video game, and everything that makes a video game, all of the components, they were the game of the year.
The best. Yeah.
They were the game of the year in every category. Yeah. And that doesn't happen. Like, as much as we love whatever our games of the year were for the past like 10 years, it is incredibly uncommon, if not, I don't know that it's, I mean, obviously this game won more game awards than any other game ever, and that's not the single metric. But like, it is so rare for a game that is your favorite game of the year to actually be best in all of the game categories.
Yeah.
It might be good at music. It might be good at story. It's usually not good at all of them. Maybe 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5. This game is just the best game.
It was the best out of everything.
Across the board.
And it's also another way I'd frame this too, is it's like, this is game of the decade type.
Yeah.
This is a lifetime.
It's
like
this will be one of those games 20 years from now where we're like, oh yeah, this is still one of the top 10 games on.
I think to that point,
websites.
The way that people make top 100 games or whatever, and Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild are staples at like one or three, 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think Clay Obscure has to be in the top 5 of all time games.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
just don't know how you leave it out of the top 5 of games of all time.
I think you can. Yeah. It's
and how often does a
special.
top 5 game in existence come out? Twice in 30 years, it would seem.
Yeah.
Well, 5 times in 30 years, I guess, if you're playing the odds. But
Right.
like, it doesn't happen. So
it does not happen.
Got to give it its flowers.
That we didn't really get to talk about much, the gameplay and the combat and the especially for me going in, like, turn-based combat is very hit or miss, more miss for me, where the ones I do like are something that evolve the formula a little bit. True turn-based combat is not really for me, and
Turns out all it needed was a parry.
Does, and the interactive nature of dodging and parrying and counterattacking is,
and the flair and animation of it too, and the tactile feedback of hitting those parries,
it's everything. The sound design, the just the boss designs. Some of my favorite bosses, like all time, are in this game. Duelist, Simon
is amazing.
Paintress, like.
I loved the overworld. I feel like that's just such a small thing. That just, like, I loved the overworld. I loved the mini game of unlocking new traversal with SK and opening up the overworld, and this game is phenomenal. So Expedition 33 was one for all of us, as you might expect.
I will never stop talking about
running away with it with 30 points. So yeah, there you have it. I mean, I can kind of go through the list here. Expedition 33 had 30 points. Silk Song had 23. Overture had 16. Blueprints had 11. Split Fiction had 10. Nine Souls and Outer Wilds had 9. KCD2 had 8. Yote had 7. Bonanza had 7. And then our 10th place was the top for each of us. It was Baby Steps with 3, Tinykin with 7, and Dead Space with 7. So you have to let me know how you guys feel about how the list played out. I feel like it made a pretty respectable, good top 10 list.
Absolutely.
I think so.
That I look at, and I think it's representative of the year.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that is like glaring, like, oh God, how did that happen? So good on us for that. So we'll see. We can evolve this going into next year, but what a year. And obviously, go ahead, Kel.
I was going to say the only thing maybe to wrap up, if we can all be very quick about it, is I just would maybe like to do a quick shout out on my things in my top 10 list that didn't make the overall.
Yeah, let's keep it very brief and just give a sentence or whatever about the games that didn't make the list. So you can start, Kel.
Okay. So number 5 on my list that didn't make our total list, Trackmania Turbo. I have yet to really tighten it up and remake my all-time top 10 list of games, but I think Trackmania has to be on there. It is an all-time game for me. I've played it between me and you, Levi. We've played it for years, and off and on. And I've called it before. It's the Dark Souls of arcade racing games. It's very very difficult.
It demands precision. Yeah.
And getting the platinum is actually, it's one of the hardest games I've ever platinumed, if not the hardest game I've platinumed. To get all of the gold medals, all of the Trackmaster medals that you need 50. It's one of the hardest things I've done in a video game,
and so satisfying.
I loved every second of it, and I'm actually sad that I am now done with the game, because I want more. I want more.
It's fun to chip away at,
and nothing else has delivered
nothing like
that
it.
Experience. It is just a perfect 100%. Game. So yeah, it had to. I actually almost barely played it this year. It's a technicality. I platinumed that game like on the first of the year. But I wanted it to be on one of these lists, and so it had to go on. And then the only other, we already talked about Revenge of the Savage Planet, or we talked about we
talked about that in our December video.
Yeah, but it was 10 for you.
It was number 10 for me. It delivered an experience that was very close to OG Ratchet and Clank trilogy, that I haven't really felt in a while, between the writing and the capitalistic satire that really hit, the movement, the third person shooter, with the double jump and exploring new planets and bosses, it scratched that itch that nothing else quite has for so long. So, and then finally, my number 9 was Dark Souls 1 and the DLC.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You were super into that last year.
Maybe the single most complicated and most difficult game to accurately and confidently rank, because
you hate it and love it at the same time.
Bag. It true like
horrible bosses, but you got to play it.
It is. You talked about in our November December video. You talked about between like kind of the contrast between maybe Metroid versus Arkham Asylum, and how you expected maybe Arkham Asylum might be that old game old. When is it going to surface? But it actually just ended up being a really good game even now.
Yeah.
Dark Souls
is not that, apparently.
No.
It's old game old, but there's something there still.
Old game old, but old game good.
Yeah.
Especially coming from all of the other Souls games to it.
Yeah.
It's a huge step back in so many ways. It's one of the most enraging games I've ever played in my life. And yet it also
ringing endorsements.
And yet it also delivered a magic and an experience that nothing else has ever.
The world design must be truly incredible for you to put it at 9.
Yeah, so I really want to know what you think when you
I'll get to it.
Play it.
I will.
So, anyways,
there's
my mentions.
For me, I think the only one that didn't make the list, actually there was 2, and so I'll touch on them real briefly. Arc Raiders. Mm-hmm. We talked about it in November, December. That game has it. Honestly, it's because of the timing of that game that it ended up. I legitimately had it at 4 when I first made my list, but I was in the middle of being obsessed with Arc Raiders. So after a minute, I was like, all right, let's calm down. I've had 2 weeks of this. But honestly, if Arc Raiders had come out early in the year, it would have been much higher for me, I think. If they continue on the pace that they're on, it was at 10 for me, ended up being at 10. And I just have had a blast. I just am loving even just solo jumping in. You got 30 minutes to scavenge this map, survive, fight these Arc robots, try and avoid / work with or fight other players with proximity chat, and try and get out alive and bring your loot back and go in and do it again. It's a great gameplay loop, and I just am having a blast with it. Arc Raiders is dope.
It is a great slow burn gameplay loop that, even though it didn't hit the way it did for you, for me, it's this slow burn loop that you get addicted to. You want to keep coming back.
You really do. Yeah. After you left, when we played some co-op, we played while you were here. We left. I finished Arkham Asylum and I did some other things. And there was a brief moment when I was like, "Oh dang, am I done with Arc Raiders? Like, did that not really hit?" And I jumped back in and played a couple matches on my own, and then I was just like, I'm hooked. I just kept playing. Great, really great multiplayer in a world where I try to avoid these types of games for the most part because they're just, a lot of them are refuse. They have a phenomenal start here, and I hope that they don't, waste it. I hope that it doesn't devolve into just a trash pile at some point. But we'll see in 2026. The other one that didn't make the list, and I blame both of you, is an absolute travesty, is Pacific Drive. Pacific Drive deserves to be at number 10 on our list or something. But
I can't argue with that.
It was so good. It just,
Pacific Drive's good.
it's a good, if you like these games that I like, this is a good game. You got to go play this game. It gave me Subnautica in 2025, kind of like, it's just kind of that vibe, that immersion, that kind of like light suspenseful horror element mixed with sci-fi. And really what I will never forget about this game, what I will remember the most, is just pulling back into the garage, having the radio on with just a killer soundtrack in this game. I put some of these songs on playlists that I still listen to, and there is such a vibe. I will have such nostalgia for pulling into the garage, getting out my tools, moving parts off, repairing, swapping out my tires, upgrading my car, pulling my loot out, putting it in lockers, and just being in the garage with the music playing in the background. just the best part of this game. Like I will not forget that. So
I will say, even though I personally bounced off of it, what I did play was so incredibly unique and memorable that I still look back on it and remember it and think fondly of it, even though I did bounce off of it.
I didn't finish it either, and I feel the same way. I feel like I played it at a bad time. You know, sometimes you're just in the wrong headspace and like life's in a weird place, and you start something and you're like, it's not clicking. But I do like that game. I think that.
And dude, when you and also when you go out on an excursion into like the void zone or whatever, for those who don't know, I guess you'll have to look it up. It's kind of a roguelite type game, mixed with very Subnautica survival elements, and it's very Control-esque, and it's got like these, supernatural phenomena that are happening in this void zone. No one knows what's going on. But when you go out on this excursion and it hits and it's nighttime and it's raining and you're just sitting in the car and you see the rain hitting the windshield and dribbling down like it does in a car. And also the way it controls, like you drive, but you are a person in a car. You're not the car. Like you turn your head and you look at your mirror, you turn your head and you look at the map, you flick on the radio or your lights or whatever. Like there is such a vibe to this game. And the art style and the way it runs too, especially on PC, dude, when you hit some of these maps and it's raining and you're driving through the rain in the dark and it's kind of suspenseful, it's just, this game is it's so good. And there were some really cool moments, and yeah, it just hit, it was different, but it hit the Subnautica itch for me, where just like, when you build a base in Subnautica and you open up the door and it's like, welcome aboard, Captain. And the Subnautica synth is playing and you're messing around in your base. Like that is pulling into the garage with your wagon and doing some mechanical car work and listening to the radio. Like it's just, it's that. If you like Subnautica, if you like these types of games, you have to play Pacific Drive. So I went on a little too long there. Those are my two that didn't make the list. Zach, for you, I think the only one that didn't make the list was Hades 2. Prime 1.
First is Metroid Prime Remaster. I won't go much into that. It's Metroid Prime Remastered. I love that game. And I think the main thing from that is I was surprised at how much it holds up. Like we talked about.
Yeah, I was surprised to see it on your list. Definitely.
I mean, that's one of my favorite games of that era. So re-experiencing that in higher fidelity.
Is there so there's a decent amount of nostalgia in that ranking?
Yeah, there's definitely nostalgia too. But I think it holds up really well. I didn't think it was going to hold up that well. And so I was obsessed with that for like 2 weeks earlier in the year. And it was like a core memory of this year. So I put it on the list. I love it. It was great. And then the other one that didn't, what's that, Calvin?
Did you finish Hades 2?
No, but I love it.
I was going to say, I didn't. Okay.
No, I didn't finish it, but I'm still actively playing it.
It was at 7 for you.
I had it at 7. I'm still actively playing it. And so here and there, I'll jump in, do some runs.
I actively cannot wait to play it. I mean, I'm trying to figure out where it's going to fit, but I
passively can't wait to play that.
Yeah, it's it's better than the first one. Like, and
I'm not done with it. From everybody,
I'm not done with it. I haven't gotten particularly far in it, but it's all of the things you love about the first one.
I heard it was better than the first one in early access.
Yeah, honestly, I played a little in early access.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's somehow even better. So the
it will be on my top 10 for 2026.
It's great.
I'm confident would have been pretty high on my top 10.
We'll be able to talk about it in depth next year.
Yeah.
So it's definitely one of the ones I'm looking forward to the most on my list. I want it to come to PlayStation because I'm kind of like, maybe I want to get the trophies, but also who knows?
I kind of want to wait, but I don't know how long that's going to take.
There you have it, though. I think it worked out well, though. I think the ones that didn't make the list, I'm biased, Pacific Drive notwithstanding. I think the ones that didn't make the list were very personal and lower on the list.
Yeah.
And everything else made the list. Zach infiltrated the list the most with games only he played being ranked very highly. Which don't you dare manipulate the votes next year. I don't know if you did that this year.
Let's just say I'm going to do some.
You better be ranking honestly with your heart, gentlemen.
I am. No, I will say that was intentional. Outer Wilds is a top 10 game for me, I think.
Okay. Well, it's pretty soon here. We need to sit down and do.
KCD2 almost like I need to play more to decide that, but like those were all.
You can't have a top 10 game of all time that you haven't beaten. I think that's a pretty. I don't think that's possible.
Fair enough.
But yeah, pretty soon here we need to sit down and do a top 10 all time. We gotta wrap up our fantasy critic and do a draft here soon. But nice to look back on the year. Nice to talk through all of these with you. I was worried, as we got to Silk Song and Expedition 33, I was like, is this talked out? Are we going to be able to say anything? And as soon as we started talking about Expedition 33, it was like we could talk for another hour.
I could always talk about Expedition 33.
Dear God, what a game, what a year.
I do think next year definitely it would be worth it to have a third party get the list together, because you having some surprise in it too would be worth it
for sure. Yeah. We will next year. I'll walk Emily through kind of how I did it or what we want done, and then she can tabulate everything and we'll reveal it, and I'll be surprised and angry together. So it was cool. What a year. Can't believe another one's in the books. And we still managed to continue putting out these videos for a whole year. Calvin, it's been a whole year you've been with us now, huh?
Crazy.
Was it January you started? You've been the whole year, right?
I think he has. Yeah.
One whole year anniversary of Calvin here at NeverLag Studios. So
Calvin is one in NeverLag years.
1 year old. All right, guys, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you for joining us if you have for the whole year and for this wrap up of 2025. And even though it's terrifying, the speed at which time continues to move forward, we are excited for 2026, and we'll do some more video game stuff then. So,
despite the inexorable march of time,
the fact that we're all slowly dying, we can't wait to play some more video games in 2026. So, stay with us. All right, yeah, we'll catch you. We'll catch you in the new year.